The Jake Arrieta is getting ready, gives many pitches as he needs. There it is. Reimold, Jones, Markakis, the outfield for the Orioles. Reynolds, Hardy, Andino, Betterman playing first base, and the Gold Glover Matt Wieters behind the plate after catching 12 innings last night.
There you see the skies clearing up significantly after the big dark cloud moved away, and I'm not talking about the Yankees. It'll be Jeter, Granderson, and Cano, as Eric Arrieta will try and help the Orioles to one of the wins here in this 3-game series, and it would give the Orioles a successful first homestand, having swept the Twins in 3. Jeter's up, pitches in, and we are underway. Derek Jeter's had a great series, 6 for 12, a homer, 2 RBIs, as he continues to pump up enormous numbers against the Orioles. This is his 255th game for Jeter against the O's. And again on the outside corner, giving you some idea of what the strike zone might look like as Jeter leans out. And
they've been huge strike zone. Paul Schreiber on Monday night, it was big, and when I didn't think it could get bigger, it did. Tim Welke behind the plate last night.
So Jeter has to reach, and he's going to get a base hit. Pokes it the other way. Markakis over to get it. Jeter's on his way to second. Markakis trouble getting it out of the glove. And Jeter's got a lead-off double. Boy, is he hot.
Well, the good slider has good tilt. And when you get it flat, see how it stays on the same plane, and waiting for that plane is Mr. Jeter. So now 3,098 lifetime hits.
Off to a 10 for 24 start to the season for Derek Jeter.
Yeah, really struggled. I mean, he's just been red hot since he got that 3,000 hit last year. Had some calf problems, but you know, you wouldn't think that he would maybe be a little anxious working on that 3,000 hit, but he was.
Curtis Granderson, who bats down in the order against the left-handers, back up into the number 2 hole with a right-hander on the mound. Granderson has had a 1 for 8 in the series, 262 overall. The Yankees get an RBI chance early on. Both teams have really struggled to get hits with runners in scoring position. The Yankees on the year are hitting just 189. And Jake Arrieta is going to try and keep it that way. Joe Girardi's ball club trying to get back to 500. Day off tomorrow for them, and they will open up against the Angels in their home opener at Yankee Stadium. Jeter being held close by Hardy. He's worked right in behind him, the shortstop. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Granderson lifts it. It is deep to right field. It is way back, and goodbye home run. Curtis Granderson, his first of the year and his first 2 RBIs.
Well, he hit 41 of them last year. And again, he's trying to get the ball to the right side of the field. That certainly does that, and then some. So take a look. Hanging slider to Jeter. Fastball pretty much down Broadway. And boy, does he get his arms extended.
Second home run Granderson lifetime against Jake Arrieta. So Arrieta surrenders the long ball, and already this game's completely different than the one Jake Arrieta pitched against the Minnesota Twins. Robinson Cano with a big cut, and he will foul it off. Arrieta in that ball game against the Twins, no runs, 2 hits, worked 7 innings in that game. Here in the first inning, the Yankees have got the first 2 on and the first 2 in. Arrieta last year gave up 21 home runs, and 13 of those were 2 left-handers. Robinson Cano with a 4 for 10 in the series. Arrieta's got to try and settle it in, as the Yankees jumped out with a Jeter home run in the ball game last night, and a single by Teixeira scoring Jeter in the first game. So they've scored in the first inning of all 3 games in this series.
Well, they hit a variety of pitches. I mean, if you look at Cano, he can hit for home runs. He hit 28 of them, drove in 118. But we've seen here, if you pitch him away, he'll go to left field. He's hit a couple of doubles down the left field line, sprays the ball everywhere, but with power. He can beat you so many different ways, with speed, with home runs. They're just solid.
We'll take it inside.
They see the stuff is there again against the Yankees, and You know, I learned this in my career. You can be throwing really well as far as velocity, but if you're in the middle of the plate, and that's where he's been for the first 2 hitters, you're going to get hurt.
That one is going to come inside and a full count. Arrieta began his career with a victory over the Yankees back in June of 2010. He got the victory, giving up just 3 runs on 4 hits over 6 innings in his major league debut, beating the Yankees. And since then, Arrieta 2-1 lifetime against New York. In the air to center field, Jones going back, wind blowing out towards left. It'll circle a little bit on that one, and Cano is retired. First out of the inning. Take a look at our PNC Inside the Numbers for Jake Arrieta. Combined career stats in the first start of a season. That first game that he gets into, he has done extremely well, including the no earned runs this season in the 7-inning performance against the Twins. Brought to you by PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. Here is A-Rod. Rodriguez 0 for 9 against the Orioles in the series, and will take the pitch outside. For Arrieta lifetime, he's had 5 career starts against the Yankees, 2-1, 3.99 earned run average. 2 of the starts have been here. He won one of those as 1-0 in Camden Yards against the Yankees, and he gets that one in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike on Rodriguez. Rodriguez hitting just 158. He's gone 3 for 19. Couple of doubles, no home runs, no RBIs. Arrieta gets that one in, and the count will go to 1-2. Was Arrieta affected by the fact he went out to the mound, completed his warm-ups, had to go back in, a 20-minute rain delay, went back out, warmed up, and had some trouble. He gets Rodriguez 2 down.
Take another look. So double home run right here. Good fastball, good sink. 94, so that's the kind of velocity. Hit 96 against the Twins, but again, the result here is caused by the late movement. The ball just sinking under the bat of Alex Rodriguez.
Our Nissan Pitch Track. Go to a Nissan dealer for great deals and innovation you can count on. Innovation for all. 2 down, nobody on, 2 runs in. Here's Teixeira. Teixeira's got a 3-game hit streak coming in. 1-0 delivery to him, and that was going to be taken inside. He's gone 5 for 13 off Arrieta. So the leadoff double by Jeter, followed up with a Granderson home run. It's giving the Yankees the 2-0 lead. Now Arrieta trying to retire the next 3. There's Granderson, who got the long ball. Hit hard into the shift. Played by Andino. Makes the flip and gets the out. 2 runs in, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left on base. The Yankees, who are trying to sweep the Orioles, jump out to the 2-0 lead. The starting lineup for the Orioles, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Reimold, Hardy, and Markakis. Jones, Wieters, and Reynolds. Paulino gets the DH duties. Benavid's going to play first base, and Andino batting ninth. Matt Wieters with the big series.
And our FC Intelligence reports CC Bathia. Well, he is a true ace. He, again, as we mentioned, 19, 21, 19. Wins his last 3 starts, 59-23 for the Yanks. 10-1 here at Camden Yards. He's won his last 7 starts against the Orioles. Lifetime 16-2. And second time around, he gave up a grand slam in his first game down in Tampa against the Rays. Carlos Pena. That was his welcoming home hit. But his second time around, the last 3 years, has not given up a run. So we'll see how it goes tonight.
2 home runs Tampa Bay got against him in that first start, as he gave up 8 hits in the 6 innings worked. Here is Nolan Reimold in the leadoff spot. Reimold with a 3-game hit streak for the Orioles, a 2 for 7 in the series. And Sabathia's pitch will be taken up high. Reimold's had good numbers against Sabathia, and would like to continue those here in this game. A 1-0. He and Andy Chavez have been in and out of that left field role and in and out of the leadoff spot. Sabathia will get it in on a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, there are a number of the Orioles that have good numbers, but again, how well does the guy that pitches against Sabathia do? That's the key. That's what Buck Showalter, Oriole skipper, was talking about.
Reimold in the air to right center field. Granderson and Swisher. Swisher will get it.
Yeah, that's a little two-seam fastball down and away. So that's what we're talking about right there. Again, the numbers against him. Pitched extremely well. They get him 8 runs a game. He only gives up 3. Of course, how does he do that? He's an exceptional pitcher. I mean, that's pretty much what his ERA is. His ERA was at even 3 runs a game last year.
Overall, 16-2 lifetime against the Orioles for the 31-year-old left-hander. Here's J.J. Hardy, and Hardy will take that one for a strike. Hardy getting off to a start with 3 hits and 21 at-bats against Sabathia, and 0 for 4. Outfield very deep, and Hardy will foul that one back. Hardy, 2 out of 3 this season, home runs.
Yeah, got a fastball in the middle of the plate from Freddie Garcia. And he would tie it up. Jeter had homered for Wei and Chen in the first inning. They give the Yankees a 1-0 lead.
Sabathia's delivery to him ate him up and a pitch down and in. Martin will make the play. 2 down.
Take a look at the Yankee defense. Certainly didn't need it on that strikeout. Gardner, Granderson, Swisher around the infield. Alex Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano, shortstop, second, first, Teixeira, all Gold Gloves, and then Russell Martin. An interesting evening. 5 wild pitches last night from Garcia. Kept bouncing that splitter in the dirt by him.
Very strange game last night when all was said and done, and when the Orioles are not going to look back on with any pleasant memories, with all that went wrong for the Yankees. A game that one would have thought the Orioles could have put away, and unfortunately did not get it done. Here is Nick Markakis, 2 down, nobody on. Markakis looking for his first hit in this series, as he has taken an 0 for 8 against the Yankees. Nick's been a very good lifetime hitter against the Yankees, 299 with 13 home runs lifetime against New York. Sabathia with a 1-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, his velocity early on, 90, 91, usually gets a little firmer as the game progresses.
Here's the 1-1 delivery to him. Came back inside and will miss with it. 2-ball 1-strike count. We see again an unusual shift in the outfield. Gardner in left is deep and over. Granderson is in and over. In center, big gap, and then you catch up with Swisher, who's almost in the seats in the power alley in right center.
Well, they plan to hit the other way.
2-1 delivery swept away, and a 3-1 count.
Now and Granderson's already moved over a couple of stops, and the reason he does that, he goes from where Nick is going to hit it over here. That's where he was before. Now he's moved over because he figures CC doesn't walk a lot of guys, so maybe he'll get something a little bit more in this zone. That's what happens when you get behind hitters. More of the plate.
There's the 3-1 delivery on the way, and thought he had a walk there. Spins away as it is a called strike.
Well, you got to figure out what the strike zone is. Both the pitcher, it's bottom edge of it.
Sabathia with that great ratio last year of 230 strikeouts and 61 walks. 230 to 61. 3-2 delivery. Markakis on a changeup. So a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts. Dan Duquette, in charge of baseball operations for the Orioles, is going to be joining us when we come back. Ending is presented by Luna. Call for the Luna Double and get your second room of flooring free. 877-241 Luna. Yankees out to the early lead in the ball game 2-0. It'll be Teixeira, Swisher, and Ibanez due up, and Dan Duquette, in charge of baseball operations for the Orioles, joining us here in the booth. Hi.
Hey, Gary, how are you?
Staying warm?
Yeah, it's a little cooler tonight than last night.
Listen, today, Joel Pinheiro signed by the Orioles. Tell us about it.
Well, he's an accomplished major league pitcher. He's got a good sinker, and we worked him out in Miami last week. He was released out of spring training by the Phillies, and we've always liked him. He showed a good sinker, and he's always had excellent control and average changeup and average slider and an average curveball. So we think that he'll be good support for our major league team. We want to get him in shape down in Sarasota and then get him up pitching in AAA. And when we lost Simone on waivers to Cincinnati, we really didn't have a right-handed long man, so we thought that Joel Pinheiro would be a good option for that. And but, you know, I like him. He's won more games in the big leagues than he's lost, and he's still pretty young.
Does he come on board right away?
Yes, he's down in Sarasota. He's got to get himself in shape with Chris Careni, who's down there working with both Wada and Zach Britton. So we can add him to that stable of pitchers that can come up and support the team.
Yeah, your thoughts last night on Chin. Mine, of course, is that I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, I thought he did a great job. He was a little nervous at the start. I think he was amped up when he got on the mound there, but after that he settled down and he showed the nice control that he has with that delivery. I like his delivery. It's, you know, the Japanese pitchers that, and he's not Japanese, he's Taiwan, but he pitched in Japan, but the Japanese pitchers, they all have this hesitation in their delivery, and Chen has a more traditional delivery, which I think gives him better control, and he seemed to be in control of the game after the first two hitters.
That'll be handled by Markakis, and Swisher is retired. Nick Swisher down. Ibanez will follow up, the designated hitter in the ball game tonight. Dan, the overall thought process now, a lot of players have been signed since you came over, whether they're here in the minor leagues. What are you trying to get done in that regard?
Well, the big thing that I wanted to do the first time around was to build a pitching staff and to have some depth to the pitching staff. And by depth, you know, I was looking for not just starting pitchers, but starting pitchers that we could have at AAA in the event that we need pitchers. Last year in the big leagues, the average team averaged 10 starting pitchers, right? Which tells you that there's not a lot of dependable starting pitchers in the big leagues. So we're trying to develop dependable starters in the big leagues, but we also need some depth at AAA and depth in our bullpen, and that's really what I've been spending most of my time doing here since November.
Yeah, Ibanez will foul that one back into the screen. Arrieta up 1-2.
Yeah, a lot of the questions I get, of course, Zach Britton, the shoulder tendonitis, is he progressing?
Yeah, Zach is going to start his throwing program tomorrow down in Sarasota, and he should come along, probably take him, I don't know, maybe at least a month. But he's starting to throw tomorrow. Wada is going to pitch again on Saturday, and he should be ready shortly after that, maybe one more start, and he should be able to come up and help us. And, you know, I was heartened by, you know, Chen's ability to make an adjustment quickly, because it's hard to make that adjustment from Japan to this league, and he seemed to do it pretty comfortably. And, you know, he's really fit in with the ball club. He gets along with the guys. You know, he likes to work out. He challenges Brady Anderson in the workout room, and he's really done a nice job getting himself assimilated with the team. And
3-2 to short.
I think he's going to have a good career here. He's young, and with that delivery and the stuff, being left-handed, I think he's going to be a good contributor.
How about position player-wise? What are you looking at in that regard as far as depth's concerned?
Well, we drafted Flaherty, right? We got him from the Cubs, and like Earl Weaver said in spring training, draft them shortstops all day long. We'll figure out where to play them. And that's what Buck did. He played him just about everywhere in spring training. And Flaherty did a good job in the field. So we need a little bit more depth. I was really heartened by what I saw out of Machado in spring training. He looked like he's going to be a terrific player.
Got a lot bigger.
Yeah, I mean, he not only is a lot bigger, he still covers the ground at shortstop. I was surprised at how far he could range to his left at one day in spring training. Then I saw him catch a pop-up down the left field foul line. I said, they said, this guy's going to be too big for shortstop. And I said, well, it's not from what I see. He can still cover the ground.
Have you introduced him to Cal Ripken Jr.?
Well,
he was about as big. And Earl, of course, moved him from third to short because he wanted somebody who could cover the ground, which he did. Won 3 Gold Gloves and also hit 428 home runs.
Yeah, exactly. And when you have those guys in the middle of your diamond, right, that can make the plays and then hit 30 home runs, you generally have a player that a lot of other teams don't have. So, you know, I was heartened by him. Jonathan Scope didn't have a terrific spring. He was hampered by some problems with his thigh. But, you know, I think that we'll get some more depth to our position players. And our you know, the good news is our position players up here are young. You know, Wieters is young, and J.J. Hardy's young, and Adam Jones is young, and Dino and Markakis. So there's not a great demand for him right now.
Martinez retired on the ground ball to Hardy. Can you hang with us for another half inning?
Sure, I'd be happy to.
All right, a 1-2-3 inning. Arrieta comes back after giving up the 2 RBI homer to Granderson in the first.
Sarasota too. I'm with you. I'm with you. I mean, look at that, beautiful.
Oh God, I do. Dan Duquette joining us, and the vice president in charge of baseball operations for the Orioles. I wanted to ask your feelings about, you got a couple players, Machado you mentioned, you got Dylan Bundy down there. If they continue to perform the way they are, even though they're young, you know you're going to hear from fans, bring them up, bring them up, bring them up. How do you stand on those with young players, not just them?
Well, I think in Machado's case, we sent him to Double-A because he showed great tools. He's only had 500 at-bats in the minors. And we thought that would be a way to hasten his development and get him ready here. I mean, if you ask the manager, he'd just soon have him out there tonight. Which is great because it speaks to his talent. And being drafted third in the country and coming from Hialeah, Florida, where it's one of the best baseball areas in the country. That's where A-Rod's from, of course. And there's a lot of good ball players come out of there. So, I mean, I think that's all good. I do think that Dylan Bundy needs to get into the routine of professional baseball. And I think that he's going to be one of those guys that pitches a lot of innings and is going to be a top-notch starter. So we need to get him some innings and watch his workload. But from what I saw in spring training, I don't know how he's going to stay in the minor leagues very long because he's got a lot of talent and he believes he's a big leaguer. I mean, he's on a mission to get here as quick as he can.
Well, I said that during the game, and I said, of course, I'm not the general manager. You are. But from what I saw, he could be as talented as anybody on this roster, which is quite a statement because we have some good young players, and one of them is pitching tonight in Jake Arrieta because I like the windup, I like the command. But then, of course, everybody says, well, you don't want to start the clock because of the 6 years. And, those are other issues. And obviously, you know more about that than I do. But stuff-wise and control-wise, he reminded me of Nolan Ryan. Very compact, concise, uses his body well. And then he throws that knee-high fastball about as well as anybody.
Well, the confidence level is what in spring training I could not believe. I mean, he just comes across as a 28, 29-year-old pro who's been around a few years. That's the way he acts, the way he appears, and I mean that positively. He just looks like he's one of those kids who's much older maturity-wise than his age.
Well, he looks like a big leaguer, and I remember Walter Shannon used to tell me that the guys that are going to be really good big leaguers doesn't take very long to see that they have a lot of natural ability.
Yeah, but there was a sense of humility. I mean, Walter Shannon, of course, he was here when I was here, and he was our director of scouting. And of course, he had come from the Cardinal organization, so he had a terrific history, and probably was with you in Milwaukee with Harry Dalton.
Yep.
Yeah. So he knew what he was talking about. In fact, we won the World Series. He said, when you get out to Arizona, look at this Jackson guy, Reggie. And I saw Reggie playing an inter-squad game against Gary Gentry, went 4 for 4, and I saw him when I came back to do the Caravana. I said, I don't think we're going to be able to draft that guy because we're drafting last.
We got to talk. Let me ask Dan this: 3 strikeouts in a row for CC Sabathia. Here's Wieters. Wieters with a big series, 5 for 8. He's had a home run and an RBI. Orioles are going to draft 4th.
We're drafting number 4. Last year we were drafting 4 as well, and we selected Bundy.
Tell us what you're going to be. We were talking between innings there a little bit about how you're going to prepare for that.
Well, our scouts have been out looking at a lot of the top players in the country, and there's some good college players and there's some good high school players, and we should be able to size it up, pretty effectively, and hopefully we'll get another, top-notch prospect that people like a lot.
And you like to go out and take a look-see yourself.
Well, I love to go out and see the kids on the amateur level. I think that's a good way to keep a good perspective. And, these are important decisions for the Orioles. I mean, we're dying to get back into the first division. And how we select and who we select is going to have a lot to do with us getting back in the first division. I mean, we have to make these picks count. I think the biggest day of the year for any organization is the draft day, and when you're picking high in the first round, you want to get a good player. You want to get a star player that your fans can come out and enjoy play. So I think that's time well spent.
Kind of like this guy that's hitting right now, Matt Wieters.
Well, yeah, I mean, Wieters was a top pick.
Yeah, I think it's a 6th pick.
Yeah, and he fell to the Orioles, and now he's one of the building blocks for a series of foundation for us.
There's the first hit for the Orioles off CC Sabathia. And Wieters, who had struggled against the Yankees coming into the season, just a 185 average against New York, is not struggling right now. That's 6 for 9 with a home run and an RBI that he's picked up. You've had 1 week to take a look. What do you see?
Well, I see some pretty good pitching. You know, we got 4 good starts. I was really impressed last night with our bullpen. All those guys that came out of there. Not only were they throwing hard, but they were throwing strikes, and they were competing. I mean, Lindstrom looked good. Jim Johnson's looked good a couple times that he's been out. Pedro Strop has shown a real powerful fastball. I was encouraged by what I saw from Patton, who came back and pitched a couple innings, and then Louis Ayala pitched pretty well too. So I like the depth of our bullpen. I like our pitching, and you know, if we can tighten up our interior defense, I think we're going to score a few runs. You know, the big thing I think is the depth of the pitching and getting some quality starts at the top of the rotation. We should have a pretty good year.
Yeah. This is Mark Reynolds at the plate. He's had a 2 for 8 so far in the series. Dan Duquette, the in charge of baseball operations, GM, if you will, for the Orioles. Wieters on at first base with 1 down against CC Sabathia. And the 1-1 delivery, and turned that one over away from him, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, he stays out of the middle of the plate for the best of them. And we saw Chen do that last night. Is there one team in the American League East that has success that maybe you want to pattern the Orioles after?
Well, I'd like to see us be good year in and year out, and in order to do that, we got to have a good farm system. Tampa Bay has done a really terrific job. They've done a good job drafting. Making their drafts count. Of course, they got David Price early on in the draft, and they got him to the big leagues. He's been a top pitcher for them.
Is there anybody out there like him? I mean, he was the #1 in the country, but is there anybody of that caliber available this year?
Well, I don't know that they're of that caliber of Price. I mean, I saw Price in college when he was at Vanderbilt, and he had power stuff, and he had a nice delivery with really good control. There's some pitchers out there that have top-notch stuff, but I don't know that they have the feel for pitching that Price has. But you know, we'll see about that. And you know, if there are, there's a good chance they might go before we pick. But you know, we would certainly love to have somebody like that. But I mean, Tampa Bay's done a good job, but there's no reason why we can't do the same job here in Baltimore. Get a foundation here for the ball club.
3-2 is outside. Dan, we really appreciate your coming in. We're going to let you go back to your booth where I suspect the windows are closed.
All right, thanks a lot. No. The windows are open. But thanks for having me on.
It's great seeing you.
Yeah, just in case they are closed, you can, if you get too hot, you can come back.
And you can get some gloves. We have magnificent gloves that are available for you. Magicians use them. And
all right. Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it.
Best of luck.
Yeah, good luck. Dan Duquette, in charge of baseball operations for the Orioles, joining us here. And with 1 away, runners on at first and second base. The Orioles get a chance against CC Sabathia now. And here is Paulino, who's in as the designated hitter in this ball game after his big 4-hit game. And is breaking in with the Orioles.
Yeah, he can wear out lefties. And of course, we saw Jeter get 4 hits. He got 4 hits, 4 for 4, as you mentioned, Gary. And we were talking down in the cage yesterday. I said, how often you did it? He said, well, I did it 4 times, and I got 5 hits last year. And Jim Presley, the hitting instructor, said, did you play that much? He said, no. But he does play against lefties, and he uses the whole field, and he does have power. And he's worked the count in his favor.
And CC Sabathia struggling a little bit with the strike zone at the moment as he goes 2-0 on Paulino with the Orioles down 2-0, but having 2 on base. And let's see if the O's can take advantage of it here in the second inning. Wieters off second, Reynolds off first. Sabathia with a look back. Molina will take the pitch, and that's going to be outside. And the count goes to 3-0.
Well, the thing that I've found in cold weather, and indeed a cold night here, is that you don't feel the ball as much. And that was pretty much at least when I threw my fastball 4 seams, a lot of times you have to go to more 2-seamers because you get a little bit more of a feel with the seams.
Here's the 3-0 delivery taking all the way, and that will be laid in for a strike. For Sabathia, left-handers last year hit only .207 against him. Right-handers much higher, .273. Gave up 17 home runs. And Paulino hoping to take advantage of that right side of the plate. 3 ball, 1 strike count. Timeout asked for. Out at second base, actually.
Yeah, he really has not thrown a ball inside middle that any of the Oriole hitters can get any leverage. But again, as I said, you watch Ronnie Paulino hit in batting practice. he can hit the ball to right field very, very well.
They shade him to left. Polino on the inside out will foul that one back, as it was a great pitch by Sabathia down and into him. 3 ball, 2 strike count. The Orioles against the Yankees with runners in scoring position are 2 for 23 in the first 2 games of this series. And overall in the year, the Orioles are hitting just 146 with runners in scoring position. So here's another chance to get a hit and have a chance at a big inning. Now Granderson moves almost straight away center on Polino. 3-2 delivery to him, and that's going to be off the hand of Sabathia. Nobody out. Cannot get a play as Sabathia reached out to knock that down and put it up in the air, and they're going to come out and check to make sure he's all right.
Yeah, Cano is playing right behind him. It's probably going to be a double play ball. And, a lot of times your reflexes, I mean, this is not a good habit. Kevin Brown used to do it. Right over the glove, but he's up the middle. You could see where Cano was playing. It's probably a ball that he's going to catch and tag the bag, and then right here on a cold night. And it's not that, the good news probably is that he didn't break anything, but what about your feel?
You got to have numbness in there, don't you?
So he'll probably take some pitches, I would imagine.
Sabathia sent the manager back.
But the Orioles get a break here because this is going to be 2. A double play ball. I mean, it's just a chopper. We've seen them play over shifts. Cano is right behind him. I mean, he's not even going to take any warm-ups.
No. And they were going to give it to him if he wanted to, but he said no. So the Orioles have the bases loaded here in the second inning. Wieters moves over to third. Reynolds and Polino. That'll be a base hit. And the second hit of the ball game, both coming this inning. And here's Wilson Betemit. And Betemit goes after the first pitch and fouls it back. Betemit is playing at first base as the early season of interchangeable parts continues for the Orioles. Wieters a single, Reynolds a walk, and Polino a single have loaded him up.
Yeah, his start against the Twins was at third base. Actually played pretty well down there.
Betemit's got a 3-game hit streak, and he's 3 for 5 off Sabathia. In the dirt, good stop made by Russell Martin. Sabathia wants a new baseball, and the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Sabathia here at Camden Yards. This has been a great ballpark for him. He's gone 10-1 and an ERA of 2.73 in the games he has pitched in this ballpark. It is the best winning percentage in the ballpark's history for any pitcher with 10 or more games. And that's going to be on the outside corner. And a 1 ball 2 strike count.
Yeah, we've seen him when he's able to pitch well. He established the outside, and I mean the outside corner. And then and he'll do it with his fastball and his changeup, and then he'll do what he did to Adam Jones. He'll run that slider right at your back foot if you're a right-handed batter.
Betemit with an RBI opportunity, especially if he goes to left field. Gardner playing him very deep out there. Base hit could get a couple of runs in. Here's the 1-2 delivery to him. Betemit, he gets eaten up by that pitch.
Well, there it is. Away. And then when he needs the slider, he throws it under the strike zone. And it just, again, when you're as big as CC is, and you stay on top, you can see him pull that breaking ball just down and into Betemit. He needed a strikeout, and again, Martin takes a nice job of blocking it.
So it is up to Andino with 2 down. You see the numbers with the bases loaded for him. He's also done well against CC Sabathia, 6 for 15 with a home run. Bases loaded and 2 away. And Sabathia to Andino. And he goes after the first one. And that's going to end up in the seats for a strike.
And he actually got a pretty good pitch to hit. Too many times you get a ball in the middle of the plate off the big lefty.
Well, the Orioles trying to find a way here to get at least a run in. But now it's going to take a base hit to get it done.
So they were 2 for 15, as you mentioned, on Monday. 0 for 8 last night. 6 for 42 now on the season. Doesn't take much. Just again, it doesn't have to be. It can be just a humpback liner over one of the infielders, and
again fouled off the other way.
And then see, I told you, he goes from 90, 91 to 94. A little extra. That's what good pitchers do.
He's got a head on the count on Andino. 0-2. Orioles trying to take advantage of that break. Certainly looks like that ball that hit his hand off Polino's bat, hit Sabathia's hand, did not cause any problems. He's throwing strikes. Andino down 2 strikes. And in the dirt with it.
And once again, trusting Russell Martin.
Martin had a lot of work last night with the record 5 wild pitches thrown by Freddie Garcia. And now he's going out checking on is Garcia huddled up.
Well, I was reading today that one of the guys that actually had 6 was Phil Niekro, and if you go back and knuckleballers, they weren't wild pitches, they were pass balls. They would always blame the catcher because they'd usually be knee high or ankle high, and so that's kind of unusual to see that.
No catcher should ever be charged with a pass ball with a knuckler on the mound.
But that's what they used to do.
Yeah, that's right. 1 ball, 2 strike count on Andino. And another one that's going to miss inside. And
nice little take there. Again, that hard slider down and in, trying to get him to swing over it.
Tough one to take.
Yep.
And a 2 ball, 2 strike count. Andino started it out 6 for 18. Couple of RBIs. 30 pitches thrown here in the inning. 30 pitches thrown. 42 total. As he retired the side in order in the first. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Andino waiting, and he'll take it. So after getting behind 0-2, Andino has worked it to a full count.
Boy, we saw him do that at the end of the year. You know, again, a young hitter had a chance to play regularly for the first time last year, Robert Andino. Again, a pretty tough out as the season progressed, mainly because he didn't get himself out. And that's half the battle sometimes when you hit.
Andino 1 for 4 early on with runners in scoring position for the Orioles. Here's the 3-2 delivery. The bases loaded, center field. Granderson can't make a play on it. Leaders will score. Reynolds will score. 2 RBIs, Andino, and he has tied the ball game.
So again, the little things, the ability to take the balls and eventually get a strike. One of the few balls we've seen in the middle of the plate. Check it out. It's up. He's a much better high ball hitter. He just serves it into center field. Looks like Granderson might come in and catch it. He doesn't get a good read on it. And Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach for the Yanks, when the ball lands, he's already out of the dugout to have a little talk with CeCe.
You wonder how much of this is about how's your hand. After that ball went off it, he certainly looked like he was throwing all right, though. So Sabathia touched up for 3 hits in the inning, 2 runs so far. Robert Andino picks up RBIs 3 and 4, and the Orioles tie the ball game up. Andino has now tied Markakis to the early Orioles lead and runs batted in. Over at third base, Paulino, and here's Nolan Reimold at the top of the order with 2 down. Down to third, almost picked off Paulino. He danced over it as he edged off third base. Reimold flying out to right field, his first time up.
And at some point, the Orioles are hoping that Nolan Reimold will get hot. One hot in spring, hasn't hit the ball hard this year as of yet. But again, the capabilities with his power with one swing really to change games. That's why he's getting the opportunity.
And he'll take it away. 4 hits, 17 at bats with an RBI so far. And he knows the heat's on with Endy Chavez getting playing time in left field. And that's part of the season for Buck Showalter, is about keeping competition going and getting everybody to buy into shuffling this lineup to give the Orioles their best chance on any given game. There's that pitch that comes down and in. He can't find the strike zone with that now. He couldn't against Andino and misses there. And the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Sabathia, the elusive third out here. Rothschild, the pitching coach, keeping an eye on their ace, who lost that opener. Throw over, and not a big lead for Andino as he gets back to the bag.
Yeah, they don't run on CeCe. all the innings. They only attempted 17 steals last year. Successful 11 of those 17 times. But then again, he usually gets a lot of runs and has leads, and so usually don't run as much when you're trailing.
2-1 delivery, and that's going to be outside.
And that little slide step and just misses the corner.
So he falls behind on Reimold. 3 balls and 1 strike. Owen Reimold, 225 off the lefties, 258 off right-handers last year. He wants to get those numbers up for lefties. That will assure him of more playing time if he can do it.
So you just look away, and
3-1 off the end of it.
But see, again, he throws him a changeup. That's why Sabathia, and he's not predictable. He knows that he does have a base open. Not that he wants to pitch to J.J. Hardy, so he throws him a 3-1 change. And when you do that, you put doubt in the hitter's minds, because if you'll do it 3-1, you'll do it 3-2. And then he's got the slider to back it up.
Off third base, Paulino, and Dino off first. 3-2 again. Reimold takes it, and he's called out. He thought it was inside. 5 strikeouts for Sabathia. The Orioles will get a couple of runs. They do it on 3 hits and leave 2 on. 2-2 ball game. Nice crowd on hand here at Camden Yards. We had the 20-minute rain delay just as the first pitch was going to be thrown. So Jake Arrieta, who had completed his warm-ups, went in and came back out, gave up the double to Jeter and the home run to Granderson, and has retired the last 6. It'll be Gardner, Jeter, and Granderson coming up against him here in the 3rd inning. Gardner has gone 3 for 6 with a couple of RBIs in this series, making his 2nd start. He's had a couple of hits in 11 at-bats against Jake Arrieta.
He got Chen out of the game last night. First time up, he slapped hit the left, and pretty dynamic player. Doesn't hit a lot of home runs, but really good defender, and he represents most of the speed in this lineup.
It's interesting. Arrieta wanted a new ball. Instead of throwing it to the catcher, he threw it to the dugout to get rid of it. And home plate umpire Les Diaz said, no, throw it into the catcher next time, please. He wants to see those baseballs rather than have Arrieta throw them out. An 0-1 count on Brett Gardner.
Maybe he will seem a little bit better when he doesn't call it 2 inches off the inside corner to Reimold.
Breaking ball is going to miss.
This umpiring crew is having a bad series. Unless you're a pitcher. I mean, they're not calling balls over the plate.
Well, the way things are going around baseball, if you're watching any games on TV, it may become an issue early. Because, boy, today in that Nationals game, Larry Vanover, if you were the players or the announcers, was having a really bad day, and he had to throw Collins out, the manager of the Mets, who came out with a double switch and never got back to the dugout. Here's the 1-2 delivery to Gardner, and that's going to be fouled away.
Well, Strasburg started the game off with a strikeout. He missed it knee high right down the middle of the plate, and Strasburg didn't like it. Asked him where it was, which you kind of do because you want to know, was it low, was it outside? And he snapped, and then by the end of the game the plate had gone about 30 inches wide and everybody was unhappy.
Here's the 1-2 delivery to Gardner, and again he'll slash that one away. Jake Arrieta, lefties last year, 253 off him. Right-handers 252. Can't get much closer than that. With that 10-8 record, 305 earned run average for the 26-year-old right-hander of the Orioles, who had that great opening day start against the Twins. Gardner, 1 ball, 2 strike count, and that will come inside to him, and it will go to 2-2.
Yeah, a little closer, and you're probably going to get the call. Is it then established? It's going to be a wide plate. I'm kind of excited to see what Jake can do this year. 6 wins 2 years ago, 10 last year, even though he was shut down in early August because the chips are out of the elbow, healthy.
2-2 came in on him. That's down the line in left. Reimold was playing shallow, but it's going to be into the seats again, and another foul ball from Gardner. Yeah, it's certainly Arrieta. There was no doubt among really, I mean, even though it was announced late that he was going to be the starting pitcher on opening day, that he'd earned it, that he's the horse right now of the staff, and he knows that. He wants it. But Showalter wants him to feel that way, and Arrieta wants to go out there and be that leader of the staff each time he's on. Fouled off again. Gardner a little fooled as he took a little bit off that pitch and just caught enough to foul it off.
Yeah, we saw Jake do that against the Twins, and there's the difference. That curveball is so good it usually gets hitters out. But Gardner, he just wants to get the count to 3-2, and then maybe get something in the middle of the plate, get on, and all of a sudden you get a track meet with his ability to steal bases.
2-2. There's another one.
And this is what the Yankees do. It started, you kind of alluded to it last night, their ability to foul pitches off. I remember when Mike Messina was pitching for the Orioles, Rick Down was a hitting instructor up in New York, and probably the late 90s, and they'd just flick balls foul. Pitch count would get to 180, he'd have a 3-hitter going.
And he got him. Good battle right there, and Arrieta wins it for his second strikeout. So one away here in the 3rd inning. The Maryland Lottery striker-rich contestant of the game, Denise Ingrelli from Baltimore. Denise, you've already won $500 to start, and for every strikeout the Orioles get during the game, you get another $100 from the Maryland Lottery. See how you can turn non-winning strike-it-rich scratch-offs into cash and enter to win great Orioles prizes at mdlottery.com/strike-it-rich today. A couple of strikeouts already, and you're up to $700.
Well, how about last night with, 14 strikeouts?
Yes, that was a good night. That'll go down the right field line off the bat of Jeter. Markakis into the corner, and he's got it in fair territory.
Yeah, slider with 2 strikes the first time, and he hit a double, poked it down the right field line. This time another breaking ball, but it's a curveball, and he gets it out.
Jeter a double, scored on the home run by Curtis Granderson, and here comes Granderson to the plate. Granderson now 5 for 14 with 2 home runs lifetime off Jake Arrieta. Granderson picking up his first couple of RBIs on the season on that first home run. And Granderson will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. The Orioles beaten in the first 2 games. 12-inning affair last night, 5-4 the final. And the Yankees won the opener in this series by a score of 6-2. So the Orioles trying to avoid the sweep with the Yankees after having swept the Twins. And swung on and missed. Took a while to get Gardner, but it didn't take long to get Jeter and Granderson. He sets the side down in order. That's 9 in a row retired by Arrieta in this tie game.
Forward to the season starting, you kind of go, gosh, what the big reminder for me, Gary, is how little spring training performance really means. And the wind's blowing out and everything. You're just trying to get people ready to go physically. But it's like Billy Martin told me a long time ago, walking out the dugout, let's go see what the boys have in store for us tonight. And it's fun, but I want some good things to be in store for us. I applaud the pitching early on. It happened last year for us too. It's a long grind. It's different than any other sport, and all your strengths and weaknesses show up in baseball. There are no flukes. There are no Cinderellas. You just play too many games. So if we're good enough, it'll show up. I think we're improved. I know our depth is, and I know the want-to's there. So I'm looking forward to seeing where it takes us.
Commenting on the first week of the season prior to tonight's game, Buck Showalter. We'll be hearing him on our Wired Wednesdays every week. And he's just kind of taking a look. CC Sabathia. Sabathia will miss down low to Hardy. Hardy a strikeout victim, 1 of 5 for Sabathia so far.
Yeah, again, these are big games. I mean, they're big for the Orioles because either 3-3 or 4-2, and it's big for the Yankees because they get back to 500. This is a team they own. Talking about
1-1 towards the middle. Jeter over. Jeter can't get it underneath the glove, and Hardy's got a base hit. Leadoff man on for the Orioles for the first time.
Yeah, they overshift so much. They play JJ to pull, and right here, I mean, Derek just doesn't look like he gets a good read on that. Maybe he didn't pick it up. But I have never seen a team in the infield overplay hitters like the Yankees have done in the first 2 games.
I'm really going to be interested. I know we've talked, for those of you watching, we've talked a lot about these defensive alignments we're seeing, but it really is becoming something that's showing up now in every ball game, in every game, not just with the Orioles and so far. Constant shifts, dramatic shifts against both lefties and righties are occurring. And that one's going to be fouled back. Markakis struck out his first time up. Nick has gone 0 for 9 in this series against the Yankees. You can see the middle of the Orioles lineup right now is 5th in batting average, 5th in on base, 3rd in slugging, and tied for 2nd in home runs. But with runners in scoring position, nothing coming into tonight's game. Hardy off first base, and that will be taken inside for a ball, where the Orioles would love to be able to work Sabathia, make him have to throw some pitches here in this game tonight early.
Well, they of course, when you go 12 innings, I mean, it seems like almost the entire staff for both teams. We didn't see Soriano. Saw Rivera at the end to get the save.
1-1 down the line. That's a foul ball.
Yeah, trying to do a Robinson Cano impression and slice it inside the line for a double.
Nick, a 273 lifetime hitter, Ross Sabathia, lots of at bats, and 1 home run against the Yankees starter. We are tied at 2. Orioles picking up their 4th hit on the Hardy single. He's over there at first base with Teixeira holding. Sabathia, runner goes. Markakis will foul it back. Martin looking and will not have a play. So Hardy taking off.
Well, that's unusual. Very rarely ever runs.
And that had to be a hope for a contact play, not a steal. Marlo Hale at third with the signs.
That's the traditional run and hit.
Yeah.
Figured that, maybe at least hoping that Sabathia will throw a strike, which he did. Maybe Nickel hit a grounder. Again, they shift him up the middle. A huge hole in the right field.
1-2 delivery again. Markakis will pop this one up back. And again, it'll end up over the screen.
See, I never wanted my second baseman to play up the middle as much as Cano is, because I didn't want a ball hit to. If you get a ball here, even though it's Camden Yards, that's how you get to first and thirds. And when you get to first and third before the other team gets 2 outs, you're going to give up a lot of runs. And that's what the good left-handed hitters will do. Maybe not now with 2 strikes, but early on the count, straight a ground ball in the right field. Take your chances. Nobody plays there.
Swisher way back. It's one of the ironies of this ballpark. As Jim said, you actually have a better chance of getting a runner from first to third on a ground ball into right field than you do on a base hit or a ball even that goes off the scoreboard.
Well, that was why it was so disappointing when Nolan Rimo did not go to third in the 9th off the base hit of Chris Davis and test Swisher's arm.
1-2 blocked by Martin.
I mean, it's a play that you have to make. I think he's certainly aware of it, but again, it's to be aware of it after the game, not at the moment, is the difference between taking that next step and maybe finishing that game in the ninth, saving your bullpen, beating the Yankees, and then this be the rubber game. The same with the play at third base that Reynolds wasn't able to make. Somewhat routine play.
Nobody out, 2-ball, 2-strike count. Sabathia, Hardy not going. Markakis in the air to left field, and Gardner will go over near the stands, and it'll be 4 or 5 rows back. Our game flow brought to you by Auto Trader, and it has been about the early home run by Granderson in the first inning, good for 2 RBIs. The Orioles coming back in the second, getting 2 runs on 3 hits off CC Sabathia. This has already started to be, like it was last night, a long grind-out game. Had a lot of foul balls already, and Sabathia, he's having to throw a lot of pitches. 61st right here. Markakis, Cano, there's one. Wasn't even thinking about trying to get 2. He just wanted to make sure he got it to Jeter.
Lead runner.
Cano and Jeter both, well, everybody in the infield's got their hand in the back pocket. That's how cold out it is there. They're trying to keep the hands warm. That's what they're doing between every pitch.
And then the wind. I mean, that really takes the wind chill, and whatever the temperature is obviously drops it.
48 when we started, the wind chill lower than that.
I thought it was cold here last night until I realized it was even colder when you got outside. Walking to the car at a little bit after midnight.
That one in the air to left field. Adam Jones. That's going to go near the warning track on the wall. Gardner's there and makes the catch. Almost, but not quite for Jones. As Gardner, who can cover a lot of territory, got there in plenty of time. A 6 special games this season coming up, and the O's are going to celebrate the 6 greatest birds of all time. Frank Robinson, Brooks Robinson, Earl Weaver, Jim Palmer, Eddie Murray, and Cal Ripken Jr. You can purchase the Orioles Legends Celebration Series package. You get a ticket to each of these games, and the sculptures will be unveiled. Fans get a replica to take home, and it will start with Frank Robinson being honored Saturday, April 28th. So don't miss out. Go to Orioles.com/legends. And the pitch is outside for a ball. Matt Wieters. Wieters singled, scored in the second inning. He picked up the 1-out single that started it. And what a series he's having. 6 for 9 with a homer and an RBI.
Yeah, what a start.
1-0 count. Hardy on at first base, and that's going to be taken away.
Well, Dan Duquette, again, the vice president of baseball operation, comes in and talks about the draft. And I was actually down at the draft when they drafted him down in Orlando, and ecstatic because it, switch hitting catcher, great arm, great defensive, already won a Gold Glove, arguably could be the not only the best catcher in the American League but in baseball by the end of the year.
That one to short. It's going to be a base hit, so he continues his torrid hitting. Right-handed, that's the second hit that he's picked up. Both have come in this game. He's now 2 for 4 right-handed and 6 for 15 left-handed. And the Orioles get 2 on with 2 down as Markakis goes down to second base.
The thing I notice about Matt, and it started last year, it's just much more comfortable. He always had a personality, but now more outgoing, and just I think feels much more acclimated at the major league level.
And is going into the developing into the leader that everybody thought he was going to be at the major league level. He's doing that. So can the Orioles take advantage with 2 down? And Dino got a 2-out single in the second inning that brought in 2 runs. 2 for 4 already with runners in scoring position for the Orioles. The Yankees with the 1 for 1 on the home run by Granderson. Sabathia's given up 5 hits. And the pitch will be up high. Reynolds scored after getting on with a walk in the second inning, and now he gets the RBI chance. Couple of hits and 14 at bats, no RBIs yet, and that one is going to be swung on and missed. And Sabathia evens it up at 1-1.
Yeah, the kind of pitch that Sabathia wanted Mark Reynolds to put into play, and you throw the perfect changeup down and away. Hitters don't hit that ball very hard because Mark swings right through it. So kind of a plus for Mark. Not much to do with that pitch.
1-1 delivery on the way to him. That's outside. And Sabathia's piling him up on a night when the bullpen was used, as Jim said, extensively by both teams. He's going to throw his 69th pitch here in the third inning. Orioles have the 2 runners on, Markakis and Wieters. Mark Reynolds trying to give the Orioles the lead. Here's the 2-1 delivery, and he'll take it for a strike.
Right on the corner, or close enough.
Reynolds 0 for 5 so far with runners in scoring position. The only Oriole with the multi-hits with runners in scoring position is Nolan Reimold, who's 3 for 5. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Cano moves right behind second base against the right-handed hitter. A speed punch. That is a foul ball. Orioles almost got one.
Well, that's the old emergency hack. Turns out to be a high breaking ball, and Mark realizes, oh, I better put this in play with 2 strikes. And of course, if you're going real well, you kind of poke it inside the bag, and it goes fair to Sheriff's. He's way off the bag where he should be.
That could have been a triple even for Mark Reynolds. 2 ball, 2 strike count. And he'll step out as Sabathia takes a little time here. 31 years old, 23rd career start against the Orioles. He's won the last 11 of 12 starts against the O's. 2-2 delivery. Reynolds takes it down low, and again Martin has to make the block. So the runners will get the advantage here. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Girardi watching, and obviously has to be a little concerned that even though this ball game's tied, Sabathia not what we're used to watching in efficiency in getting outs.
Well, you come out of spring training, your first game, and it's not a good one. The grand slam to Pena down in Tampa's indoors, and now you just don't feel the ball the same.
3-2, runners go, and that's fouled out.
And how does that translate? It translates to the fact that you guess when you win 19, 21, 19 like he has, you usually have a pretty good idea where the ball is going. And tonight, try to make the same pitches, and you're just a little bit off the corner. You're a little bit low. We saw him his first year with the Yankees on opening day have a similar game. And after the game, what was going on? He said, just couldn't command my stuff. That's going on tonight.
3-2 delivery, runners go, and he walked him. Orioles load him up, 2 down. The second walk surrendered by Sabathia, who gave up 3 in the first game. And Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, is again going to come out. He's made 3 trips out, 1 for an injury look when Sabathia reached out and tried to catch a ball barehanded off Polino's bat, and then 2 more trips just to talk about what's going on.
Yeah, here's the ball. This will be the 5th straight hit for Ronnie Polino. And it goes right off his pitching hand, and would have been a double play ball, but the deflection allows him to reach. The irony of the second inning, he gives up 2 runs and he strikes out the side. You got Andino with the base hit to drive in the 2 runs.
And it's Paulino who's coming up with the bases loaded. So the Orioles have loaded him up with Markakis at third on the fielder's choice. Wieters reached on a single in the walk, picked up by Mark Reynolds. Paulino's the DH tonight for the Orioles, and again looking for a big 2-out hit. First ball hitting, it goes to short. Played by Jeter to Cano, and that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. The Orioles leave them loaded. We've completed 3 here at Camden Yards. Orioles Yankees are tied at 2. families, federally insured by NCUA. And by Burger King, the proud sponsor of opening week baseball. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer after 3 here at Camden Yards. The Orioles coming back to tie this ball game up at 2-2. Yankees against Jake Arrieta will have Cano, A-Rod, and Teixeira coming up in the 4th inning. Jake Arrieta, no walks, 3 strikeouts. Home run surrendered to Granderson in the 1st, accounting for the Yankee runs. Robinson Cano flied out to center field, his first time up. Cano unquestionably one of the game's best hitters, if not the best right now. Taking a look at a couple of the second basemen who've recently gotten contracts that will affect what Cano's going to get. Ian Kinsler got a 5-year deal at $75 million from the Rangers, and Brandon Phillips got a 6-year $72 million deal from the Reds. Now Cano's not going to be a free agent until after next year. The Yankees have got an option for $15 million for next year that they certainly are going to exercise. But those 2 deals that were struck with second baseman, probably for Cano, it's somewhere between $15 and $20 million a year that he's going to be asking for. That'll be handled by Reimold. I don't know how you can live on that, but I guess somehow you get it done. The Yankees return to Camden Yards to take on the Orioles for a brief 2-game series Monday, May 14 and Tuesday, May 15. Tickets remain but will not last. Hope you'll help paint the park orange. Get your tickets in advance. Go to Orioles.com. I know there's a reason. I do not understand how there can be 2-game series. It's ridiculous. 2-game series make absolutely no sense.
I thought they got away from those.
They should.
Yeah. Well, it didn't seem like we had very many of those last year.
Here's Alex Rodriguez, and he will take it for a strike. All of the scheduling for future years is right now in flux before Bud Selig's committee that's trying to figure out what to do with all the interleague games that are going to start next year. 0-2 pitch away. They talked about going away from or going back to a balanced schedule and not having the unbalanced schedule we have now with the 18 games against division opponents and balancing it out. Get rid of those 2-game series. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and that's going to miss outside. I mean, 2 games doesn't give time for anything. The team that's on the road never gets unpacked. The team that's home, I mean, there's really not much you can do with that 2-game set. It just doesn't fit in baseball. That is popped up first base side. Get out of the way, Jake.
Yep.
It is
what he wanted it, yeah.
All right, PNC Minor League Report brought to you by PNC for the achiever in you. You take a look at Dylan Bundy's numbers tonight. A-ball, Delmarva. No hits, 3 innings, 6 strikeouts. He has struck out 12 of 18 batters that he's faced so far.
3 innings.
3 innings. Thought it was interesting, Dan Duquette, when we were talking with him. I mean, Dan's certainly didn't sound opposed to having him up here in a relatively quick time frame. There was none of that talk about developing at the minors for 2 or 3 years or anything. And a strike taken by Mark Teixeira.
Well, you made a great point when you talked to Dylan Bundy. I found a very humble, on-purpose young man that has overwhelming ability. Overwhelming.
And that's against the shift and a base hit for Teixeira.
And for $6.2 million or whatever he got, you probably should. I mean, they would think that's going to be the case. So with that said, again, great work ethic, great windup, great stuff, great command. Hopefully, I mean, we're looking at Jake Arrieta. When I first saw Jake Arrieta, I'm going, wait a minute, this was a 5th round guy. And of course, the Orioles had him higher than that. They were lucky to get him. And then he had some health issues. So, and again, the great thing when you get people like Jake Arrieta or the Dylan Bundys or even Zach Britton's or whatever, part of the deal is you come up here and compete, you learn, you figure out what do I need to do to stay or how I have success. That's the challenge. And it has been for CC Sabathia. I mean, Charlie Manuel was his manager. He said, when this boy learns how to use his body, it's going to be 100 miles per hour. Well, he doesn't throw 100, but he used to throw 97. He's one of the best left-handers in baseball. So CC figured it out, and he was a terrific all-around athlete.
Nick Swisher with a 1-0 count. 3 hits for the Yankees. That'll get in there attention. Pretty good fastball that came inside on him, a 94-mile-an-hour fastball on Swisher.
See, Swisher likes this stuff because that's part of his deal. You know what? I'm going to try to hit it as far as I can. You can come in, because if you come out over the plate now, because that's where I'm looking, I'm going to try to take you. And he's hit 17 home runs here at Camden Yards lifetime. He loves to play here.
2-0 delivery, swing and a miss. He has never had a hit off Jake Arrieta. He's 0 for 14.
Well, nor will he if he throws a slider like that. Like about a good slider. I can just see the scout salivating again. I mean,
two ball, one strike count. And another one.
Yep, another slider. Now, do you think that Mark Teixeira, on his 32nd birthday, might try to steal a base? I don't think so.
No. It's my guess. My guess is no. Birthday or no birthday. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Swisher, 2 down. Swisher's had a 1 for 9 in this series. Arrieta. And a towering fly ball. It's in the yard. Jones. He's got it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Arrieta since the first, virtually untouchable. 2-2. About baseball in their new stadium. This game is great, but when you get up out of your seat and walk around, you should be amused. It should be about having fun. Out of Sports Illustrated, he was talking about his new ballpark that has 2 bulletproof polycarbonate aquariums embedded in the backstop at Marlins Park, where the fish are swimming around the entire time. A lot of plastic, a lot of glass, a $2.5 million neon colored fish and flamingo studded piece of performing arts that is out beyond the outfield wall, and a ballpark in which is white concrete, glass, steel, and curves. That's the new ballpark in Miami, and the owner designed it. And he had it in his mind, a meeting in London with architects. They came back with some drawings for him. He said, yep, that's what I want.
Well, he's an art guy.
He's an art dealer.
Yeah,
big time art dealer. And that is going to miss. This is the ballpark, of course, that 20 years ago ignited all of the ballparks that have been built since, based on the footprint of Camden Yards, because it just is such a beautiful ballpark and still is, and fits into the city so well, and other parks have tried to imitate. And now what's going on in Miami may be the next generation, where it goes even beyond what the baseball game is and starts to incorporate things such as art into the ballpark itself for the experience. Betamete, and a swing and a miss, and he got him.
Well, a lot of strikeouts, and again the slider. And again, the illusion is it's going to stay up, but again, when you're 6'7" and you're throwing downhill, it just keeps coming at your back foot and you swing over it. What do you think of? I mean, Lolich and Carlton and Guidry. Who else? Some of the dominant lefties. Sparky Lyle for the Yankees out of the bullpen. Won a Cy Young. Throwing that slider in relief.
Robert Andino's had the big hit for the Orioles as he got the 2 RBI single that came in the 2nd inning. Take a look at our Hollywood Casino League leaders with Robert Andino with the 3 doubles behind David Murphy. Cano's also got 3. Slots, tables, and dining, the ultimate triple play at Hollywood Casino at Charlestown Races. To left, diving, and caught by Gardner. Andino robbed of a base hit.
And Tim Welke really, I mean, it took a long time because the ball was hit so sharply. The third base umpire, there's no way that he could have seen him catch it. Now, he might have caught it, which he does, but he wasn't out there. It's only a guess. But he got it right.
Gardner with that tremendous speed not only works in the base paths but also works in the outfield. 2 down. Top of the order, Nolan Reimold. Reimold is slide out and struck out. And will take the pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Yankees got the 2 runs on the Granderson homer in the first. Then 11 in a row were retired by Arrieta until the single by Teixeira in that last half inning. That one in the air to center. He had to pull the bat in as he got fisted a bit, and Granderson will haul it in. There's the quick inning by Sabathia in the 4th. 4 complete. Yankees and Orioles are tied at 4. At 2. Full nighter at Camden Yards with another good ball game underway. Not moving quite as fast as that pitcher was, but nevertheless. Red Sox lost again today. Toronto beat them by a score of 3-1. Ricky Romero got the victory in that 8 1/3 innings, a run on 3 hits. Santos came on and picked up the save for the Red Sox. Lester, the starter, had a complete game loss. He gave up 3 runs on 3 hits in 8 innings in the ball game.
Just got out pitched, and the surprising thing, because we know how good Ricky Romero is that the Red Sox got out hit. CGL, we used to pride ourselves. If you're going to lose, at least pitch a complete game on the road.
He did, and the Red Sox early struggles, if you could call them that this early, continuing.
Well, there are struggles when you're trying to beat the other teams in your division. In Tampa Bay, you start out 1-4, and Tampa Bay is 4-1. You're 3 games back, and been well documented in this division, or any division. You don't want to get off to a poor start because that can make a big difference.
Boston's now 1-5, and Toronto with a victory 4-2. 2-0 delivery. Raul Ibanez will follow back. Ibanez lined out his first time up. Martin and then Gardner, bottom third of the order against Arrieta.
Yeah, he got the big hit last night. Pedro Strop threw one right by him in 97 and then came back with a hanging slider. And he hit a double into right center field for the winning run.
Veteran Ibanez, the designated hitter in the ball game, and the pitch will be taken down low, 3-1. Arrieta's not walked anybody, has struck out 3. Orioles are 2-5-0. The Yankees are 2-3-0. Orioles have left 5. Yankees have left 1. 3-1 delivery. Ibanez takes and he's on a leadoff walk. The Yankees leadoff man on for the second time in the game. Visit Orioles.com bobblehead now to vote for the AT&T Fans Choice bobblehead. On September 29, one Oriole will make his bobblehead debut, and you can decide which player, and the rest of Birdland will get to add to the collection. You can vote for Mark Reynolds, J.J. Hardy, Tommy Hunter, Jake Arrieta, Robert Andino. Go to Orioles.com/bobblehead to vote. Here's Russell Martin.
Yeah, he's looking down to see if the count gets in his favor, which it isn't now. Maybe he'll start the runner. I don't know about Russell Martin. Handles the bat well.
Martin will take the strike. Didn't think so.
Yeah, he thought it was low, and Jake Arrieta just a dive bombing 93-mile-per-hour sinker.
Martin is now 1 for 8 lifetime off Arrieta. Arrieta's really settled in. Double by Jeter to start. Home run by Granderson, the next batter, and then he went to the 4th inning with 2 down before Teixeira got a single, and now the walk to Ibanez to start this inning. Boom! Got him. Just nicked the jersey. Hit batter. So 2 on, nobody out.
Well, let's see. 0-2. A lot of times you want to move somebody off the plate, but again, this ball just gets away from him. Matt Wieters kind of just inside middle, and not really. Yep, there it got the jersey.
Now, how will you play this one if you are the Yankee skipper?
Well, they have a lot of options because, again, you're going to come in at first and third, so you have a slap hitter. Brett Gardner, we were talking about it, a very kind of a pronounced wide stance. I mean, he's a slasher. You speed up his bat, that's where he gets his home runs. Hit 7 of them last year. But he's just going to hit it where it's pitched. But he can also bunt.
Great bunter.
And he got great speed.
1 sacrifice already on the year for him. Orioles move Betamit and Reynolds in at first and third. Yankees with 2 on, nobody out. Ibanez the lead runner. Everybody will be moving here. The delivery to Gardner, who does square, pulled it back, and will take it inside for a ball. He was going to take that pitch no matter what, but he gets everybody thinking. Now Ibanez checking in to see what the call is here. The lead runner at second base. Wieters giving the signs to the Oriole infield.
Yeah, well, they're still playing as if he's going to bunt. Kind of like the idea that he threw him not one a good one, but he threw him a breaking ball. Everybody, we're talking down the cage. It's pretty conventional to throw fastballs, but it's harder to bunt a breaking ball because the ball's going down.
Pick off at second. Ibanez gets back. Not a bad idea. Ibanez got a lot on his mind out there.
Well, he's also 39. He doesn't run as well as obviously as he used to. And again, you want to keep him close because if he does bunt and doesn't make a good bunt, maybe get the force play. Keep the double play in order.
Reynolds will give it that 45-degree angle at third so he can watch both the runner and the batter. And Andino will try and hold the runner towards second base. And not bunting there. Trying to slash one through. Missed on it on a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
There are all kinds of variations. I mean, there's the variation where Reynolds will stay back. If you throw the ball, you cover the third baseline. The other one is where Reynolds will charge. And sometimes Butch Robinson used to do as well as anybody. You would actually get a force at second. He comes in and then the double play still remains in effect.
1-ball, 1-strike count, still playing for the bunt. There he squares. Pitch will just miss outside. Gardner's actually gone 2 for 4 with runners in scoring position this year, with the Yankees struggling in that regard at 189 for a team average. Let's show Walter with the signs for Wieters, who passes him on. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Gardner. Outfield shallow. Trying to cut off that slash base hit. Yankees have had only the one chance with Granderson in the first inning with the homer. Shows bunt, takes it. The last 2 have been just off the mark, and the count goes to 3-1 on Gardner.
Yeah, a little frustrating leadoff walk. He gets 0-2 on Martin, hits the jersey, and now they're willing to give you an out, and you're behind him 3-1. I've been down this road before. Take the out. Even if they get a run, it's not a big inning, and of course that's your intent, and now all of a sudden you don't know if he's going to be bunting here.
Still playing bunt. Orioles are 3-1. And not bunting, and takes it in the air to center, not deep. That's going to fall in for a base hit in the Bermuda Triangle. Bobble Reimold, and Robbie Thompson tried to get Ibanez going again. He wanted Ibanez to come to the plate, but Ibanez had already stopped and was looking back and didn't see Thompson waving him in, so the bases are loaded.
Yeah, just a ball off the end of the bat, and you can, for some reason, Jonesy's playing him in right center field. Normally you play Gardner, you hit the other way, so there's a huge hole out there, and he finds it. Now this is not good. Not for the Orioles with Jeter coming up.
So Derek Jeter, who has doubled and flied out and has already picked up 7 hits in 14 at bats in this series with 3 RBIs, has him loaded. Ibanez on the walk at third. Martin hit pitch at second, and Gardner a single at first. 4th hit for the Yankees. 1 grand slam. How about that? In his career. Jeter hacking away at it down the line. That will be a foul ball. Take a look at our AT&T mobility trivia facts. Last season, Sabathia received 28 total runs of support in 2 starts versus the Orioles. Won both of those games, and that part of that 16-2 record he has in 22 previous starts against the Orioles. And the Yankees trying to give him some help right here. 0-1 count. Reynolds will play on the grass at third. Everybody else back in the infield. And Jeter again a little late on an Arrieta fastball. 0-2.
Well, if you ever need a strikeout, he's been up 25 times, and he's only struck out twice. But again, remember, he had him 0-2 in the first inning and got a slider up, and he just went with it, which he does about as well as anybody. Kept it fair down the right field line, but love to be able to make a quality pitch, get the strikeout or the pop-up.
Jeter 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Here's the 0-2 delivery. Arrieta gets the chopper. Baltimore chop. Andino's got to go to first. He'll get the out. A run will score. Ibanez in. RBI for Jeter. And the Yankees retake the lead at 3-2.
Basic, just get it in play, and it works out well. Pounds it into the turf. And again, the same inside-out stroke we've seen thousands of times.
They have caught even the lip of the plate on that bouncer. The runners move up. Martin goes to third. Gardner goes to second. First out of the inning recorded, and here's Granderson. Granderson delivered the home run in the first inning, his first of the year. Now gets another RBI opportunity. 1 down. Granderson. It's caught. And Dino hauled it in on the line drive. 2 down.
A nice play by Robert. A lot of times it's difficult to time a line drive. You don't know exactly off the bat how hard it's hit. This one looks like it sinks a little bit, so he looks into his glove to make sure it's there.
Andino makes the catch, and now Arrieta's got a chance to get out of this inning, surrendering only 1 run after the bases were loaded with nobody out. On the other side of it, a base hit here will score 2, and here's Robinson Cano.
Of course, it's a major impediment when you're trying to get out of an inning, and Cano comes to the plate. Boy, he can hit.
Cano 2 down. He'll foul that one back.
Hey, the one thing we saw from Jake Arrieta was movement in the strike zone against the Twins, and you see it right there. As good as Cano is, that ball is moving enough. Looks like a two-seam fastball. Hard to really track it well.
Last year, .318 batting average for Cano with runners in scoring position, along with all the other big numbers that he put up. 2 down, 0-1 count. Runners off second and third. Arrieta got it in. Up in the air. Reynolds. Will he have room? Nice job. A real good job by Jake Arrieta. 1 run scores on 1 hit. 2 are left on. Yankees up by 1. Arrieta going at it. Gary Thorne, Jim Palmer back. Nice job by Arrieta getting out of the last inning.
Yeah, we talk so much about it's kind of like when you play golf. What's your course management? Pitching, especially against the Yankees, stay out of the big inning. Bases loaded, nobody out. Jeter, Granderson with 41 home runs. Cano as good a hitter as any. Only give up 1 run. You're in the game. Sabathia had his only really easy inning just last inning. So again, a 3-2 game, 1-run ball game, anybody's game. Again, for the Orioles to win, they're just going to have to get some key hits, and that's not always easy against the bullpen and especially CC Sabathia.
Did you say playing golf or is course management?
Course management.
Other than chainsaws in the woods to try and find the balls you lost?
That too.
Is there really a course management?
Well, you put your name on the your golf ball.
On the golf ball?
So you know which one is yours.
The rings around them? Those are the ones. I have course management. See how many balls you can find. You hit in the woods. Here's J.J. Hardy against Sabathia. Hardy a single, and he has struck out. Orioles down a run, 3-2, out hitting the Yankees 5-4 in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Sabathia, a great pitch down and away, and a 2-strike count. Hardy with the single in the 3rd inning, his 2nd hit of the series. He's 2 for 13. Does have a home run and an RBI, and now against Sabathia, his first career hit with that 3rd inning single. 1 for 6.
Yeah, he wants the ball inside middle, and CC hasn't thrown it there very often. Get it to Andino, hit a 2-run single.
Down the short, base hit. So Hardy is on. The Orioles again getting the leadoff man on base, 2nd out of 5 innings. Masson's 30 prizes in 30 days contest is going on right now through May 5. Log on to Facebook.com/Masson Orioles and enter for your chance to win exclusive Orioles gear presented by your local Jeep and Dodge dealers. Orioles 6th hit of the ball game. Nick Markakis coming up. Markakis has struck out and hit into a fielder's choice. Yankees already assured of a series win, having taken the first 2. They have now, in the last 8 series these teams have played, the Yankees have won 6 and tied 2. Markakis fouls it off. The Orioles just want this one here to avoid the sweep. The Orioles have not been swept by the Yankees here in Baltimore since the August-September series back in 09. Girardi's team trying to get to 500. The Orioles trying to get on a road trip going 4-2. 0-1 count. High in the air to center. Granderson. He'll get it in to make sure the runner can't advance, and Markakis is retired.
Yeah, just having trouble getting to that slider.
Jones coming up 0 for 2. He has struck out, flied out.
And this is how he pitches him. And so again, what, 63% fastball sinker, same pitch, maybe turns one over. Again, the slider at your back foot. That's how he got the first strikeout. And then when he stays out of the middle of the plate, he throws that change up, down, and away. As you see, very rarely ever throws a curveball. There's the slider that hangs.
Jones will take it up high for a ball. Adam with a 5-game hit streak. Jones now 11 for 35 with 2 home runs lifetime off Sabathia. Hardy's on at first base with a single. And the Orioles down a run in the 5th inning. Jones fouls that one away late on the cut.
So you can see we've seen a couple of fastballs 92 to 94, but most of them is 91. So here's a guy that used to throw in the mid-90s. You still reach back, but 91 with movement can get you out. That's why when you see Chen last night, he was 90-92. And Larry Rothschild, his pitching coach, certainly knows that. It's just really about finishing your pitches, and when he finishes his pitches, which he's had a little bit of trouble, you get a lot of movement, both on the slider, the changeup, and the sinker.
Lob toss over made by Sabathia just to get Hardy leaning back the other way.
He is a ground ball pitcher. There's a lot more grounders than fly balls.
Cy Young Award winner 2007. 1-1 delivery on the way, and the pitch is going to be up high as he reared back a little bit for a 90-mile-an-hour heater. And a 2-ball, 1-strike count. 91 pitches thrown by Sabathia so far in this game. He got that count up early.
So he's probably looking at 2 innings unless the Orioles get to him here.
2-1 to Jones. And Jones up the middle. That hits Sabathia. That's going to be a base hit. So Sabathia's tried to catch one. It's gone off his bare hand and now takes a shot off the bat of Jones somewhere on the lower extremity.
It's a big target. He is a big guy, 6'7". Yeah, maybe right off the foot. Actually, the ball really wasn't hit that hard. And I mean, another ball that their infield's going to take care of. There's been 2 balls tonight. So another chance.
2 more on for the Orioles. Orioles stranded to 2 in the 2nd inning. Left the bases loaded in the 3rd. 2 more on here in the 5th. And Matt Wieters, 2 singles in the game. And he has scored a run. And Dino's got the 2 RBIs for the Orioles. And Wieters will take it away for a ball. And the Orioles have certainly had people on base in this series against the Yankees, even if they've not been able to get a lot of them home.
Well, the on-base percentage, it was what, 319 last year. Red Sox were almost at 350. Yankees were in the low 34%. And already this year, the on-base percentage is much higher. But again, the runners in scoring position numbers not where you'd like to have them at this point.
That was the good number, a real good number for the Orioles last year. They led the league for much of the year with runners in scoring position. 1-1 delivery down the line and foul the other way. Orioles with a long and important road trip coming up, as they will have a day off tomorrow and then head to Toronto to play those 3 games against the very good Jays team. Continue to Chicago for 4 under Robin Ventura, the new manager, and the White Sox expected to struggle. The Orioles are going to need to win some games there, and then on to take on the Angels on the West Coast. 1 ball, 2-strike delivery. Wieters in the air to center field. Granderson will go back. He's got it lined up, and he'll make the catch. Tagging up and moving over is Hardy to third base, and there are 2 down. For the Blue Jays, 12-6 against the Orioles last season with that run differential in the Blue Jays' favor. See the record versus the Orioles in Toronto since 2006. They are averaging 4.8 runs a game, second in the American League.
Yeah, they were 5th last year in runs scored. And of course, if you look at Morrow, he was 11-11. If he comes around, I mean, what, he struck out 18 one game. We saw Alvarez, 96, 97 miles per hour sinker. And then Kyle Drabek back in the big leagues, made his major league debut here a couple of years ago. He won yesterday, beat the Red Sox. So he'll pitch on Sunday.
Runner going to second. Martin will have to block that. It'll be a stolen base for Jones. So Adam Jones gets into scoring position, and the Orioles have runners at second and third and 2 down. Jones is 3 for 3 in stealing bases, and the Orioles are 4 out of 5. That can matter, obviously. That's a potential go-ahead run.
All you got to do is get the hit.
Reynolds with a couple of walks off Sabathia. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Reynolds now has picked up 4 walks and has 6 strikeouts. During the spring, we noted that he was keeping his walk total ahead of his strikeout total in spring training. But now it's about the long ball and RBIs that the Orioles, of course, want out of Mark at third. That's a little bloop towards left center. That's going to fall in. Base hit. Gardner cuts it off. Hardy scores. Jones scores. Into second base. A double, and the Orioles have a 4-3 lead.
Yeah, you have to really elevate the ball. I mean, Reynolds a much better high ball hitter. It looks like CC tried. You can see Martin come in, and they go in, and he's strong. You don't hit 37 home runs if you're a weakling. And he just fights it off up the gap. Here comes Hardy. That'll tie it up, and Adam Jones will give the Orioles the lead, 4-3.
First 2 RBIs of the year for Mark Reynolds, and you saw him celebrating, indicating a little pressure that he's been under to try and get that extra base hit and get on the board in the ribby department. And now he's at second base. The Orioles have picked up 4 runs on 8 hits off Sabathia.
And still nobody up in their bullpen, and another opportunity to add to the lead. Paulino get the ball off his hand, and then a rocket, but right at Jeter for the ground out his last time up.
And a delivery goes the other way this time. That's Swisher who will back up, find it, and put it away. The Orioles, though, get a couple of runs, 3 hits. They lead 1 on, and the Orioles are on top for the first time in this game. Home Depot doing more on defense. Buck Showalter noting some plays last night. A great play at the plate. Look how Wieters got perfectly lined up. A great relay from Hardy and Chavez. Then he made a catch, and I don't know how he did that. Turned the glove the other way, and then the Orioles get a rundown. Not only did they get the rundown, but they held the runner. They did not allow the runner to move up on that rundown play. All of those were noted by Buck Showalter in the pregame today as defensive plays worth looking at again. And I asked Matt Wieters before the game tonight, I said, how did you make that catch? And Matt Wieters said, it's amazing what you can do when your life is on the line. He said that ball was headed right for the middle of his chest. And he said, I just reacted to it. But everybody, both Orioles and Yankees, were talking about that catch because I don't think anybody had ever seen anything quite like it before.
And then he went on to tell us when he was pitching at Georgia Tech, his catcher on a pitch out stood right in the middle of the plate. And he said, you could have gotten hit by the batter. That was a kind of an unusual way to pitch out.
And not a good idea.
Well, everybody, and you saw it last night. I just can't believe, because I've seen guys get crossed up over the years, the fact that his hands are so soft and he's so agile that he even caught that ball.
I don't.
And then the other side, the end of that story is that it was actually strike three, and Alex Rodriguez couldn't believe, number one, he caught it, and number two, you called me out.
And some of the players thought that he actually tried to frame it because of the way he caught the ball and put it back in over the plate. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez 0 for 2 and 0 for 11 in the series. And Jake Arrieta now with the lead gets the strike. Arrieta with a walk and 3 strikeouts so far in the ball game. It's been a tough start for Rodriguez, and the Orioles hope it'll stay that way. He's had only 3 hits and 21 at bats on the year. And the 0-1 delivery to him, and that's on the outside corner. And Arrieta works 2 away for a 2-strike count.
And we saw it against the Twins. They're trying to encourage Jake now that he feels good and command, throw more fastballs. And there's another one. Maybe that was a backup slider. At least he got away with it. Kind of hung it a little bit, but he's got an awfully good fastball. And again, how do you get a young pitcher when you're on a somewhat of a pitch count? What pitch count at 89? Probably going to get 110, 115 pitches. How do you get him into the 7th inning? Throw more fastballs.
0-2 delivery, and he got him. 3 strikes on the outside corner.
And Alex Rodriguez doesn't chase any of them. Perfect pitch, late movement. Comes back, catches the outside corner. Boy, you like to see that. That's really what pitching's all about.
And they'll bring on Mark Teixeira. In the game against Minnesota, the opener for Arrieta, he threw 97 pitches, went 7 innings. He has thrown 91 so far in this ball game, and we are in the 6th inning.
And what the pitching coach Rick Adair for the Orioles liked, 61 of them, not that is 97, were fastballs.
0-1 delivery and a check he did not go on. Teixeira has had a single. He has grounded out. Mark Teixeira's got a 4-game hit streak. Pitching coach watching Jake Arrieta come back after giving up the double and homer to Granderson, first 2 batters he faced, and then really settle in. He has walked 1, struck out 4, has a 1-2 count on Teixeira. Teixeira 6 for 15 lifetime off Arrieta. 1-2 delivery. That'll be up high. 2 ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, experience, at least for me, it allows you to learn that if you hang a slider, as you did to Jeter, who has well over 3,000 hits, they hit it, and he did. And if you get a fastball in the middle of the plate to Granderson, which he did, and the guy's coming off a year where he hit 41 home runs, he'll probably hit it hard. So you don't panic, you just make better pitches, and that's what he's done. I mean, think of this lineup. You have almost 3,100 hits leading off. You got 41 hits right behind him. One of the best left-handed hitters in Cano right behind him. And Teixeira's hit over 30 home runs the last 7 years.
2-2 delivery, and he got him. Teixeira goes down swinging. That's 5 strikeouts now for Arrieta. Our PNC postgame tune-in will be coming up. Brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever. And you, Jim and Rick will be standing by. They're frozen in place right there. There'll be a look in with the manager in the press conference, player interviews, and more, all coming up on the postgame.
Jim Hunter looks like he's ready to go into the meat locker. He's got the puffy jacket on.
Good idea, though.
Yes.
2 down here in the 6th inning on 2 strikeouts, and here's Swisher. He's flied out to center field twice.
But does he have the glove?
Nobody's got the gloves you got.
It's hard to keep score and keep taking my hands and readjusting like all the hitters.
I'm
how
so
they do.
sorry. I feel
With the
for you.
Velcro going.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough out there. Tougher to eat those hot dogs with the gloves on.
Well, among other things, yes.
0-1 count on Swisher, and that will be taken inside. Swisher now with the 0 for 15 off Arrieta.
I mean, if Jake wins tonight, he's going to expect me to wear those gloves every time he pitches all year long.
It's all right till you get to January, or July, rather. And towards second base, Andino is playing deep. He scoops it up. Arrieta, 1-2-3 out. So the Orioles maintain the lead as they are up on the Yankees 4-3.
Really gotten slowed up yet. I'm aware. It's not an open-ended ticket. We weren't real sure about Chris at third base. Felt like that was going to be an issue with his arm a little bit. He's above average first baseman. There's ways we can go, but Mark is a streaky guy offensively, and we just don't want him to be streaky defensively. And last year was a break from the norm. He's always made some errors, but not the number he had made last year. He made 6 or 7 at first base when we moved him over there. A lot of people forget, but. It's it makes you feel a little bit sorry for him because he worked so hard in the off season, worked so hard in the spring, and he knows it's a point of emphasis. Anything that's said to him about it kind of falls underneath the no kidding. If there wasn't effort there and there wasn't caring and there wasn't, it's almost too much. And he's just got to get relaxed. And I'm hoping as the season goes forward and we get on the road and he kind of takes a deep breath that we're going to see what he's capable of.
Prior to the ball game, and that's why he put him back in tonight. He felt he needed to get right back in after the error last night, costly error, and get back into the ball game tonight, not take him out of there. And Reynolds has answered by picking up the 2 RBI double in the 5th inning. And as he said, it's not an open-ended, meaning that, look, you don't produce, you don't get to play, but he's certainly got the effort into it, and he doesn't want him taken out of the lineup. Not now.
They're hard to take his bat out of the lineup. And there's another slider, so Sabathia, he's dialed in Wilson Betemit.
Betemit has struck out 3 times after coming in 3 for 5 lifetime off Sabathia.
So the pitch count at 105, and again we talked all night about the slider. Tough to hit, tough to see, tough to read. And he's able to get ahead of Wilson and then bury him with that slider down and in. Yeah, third base is such a. I looked at Boone Logan briefly pitching last night, but third base is such a reflex position. You have to make such quick decisions. It's so simple to look at Mark Reynolds last night on that play and go, oh yeah, should have just taken a step back. But again, the ball's hit sharply.
This play has got to be made, though, Joe.
No, I understand. But for a guy that has trouble reading the ball and to play third, it's tough.
That is swung out and miss.
I got spoiled. I mean, I had Brooks Robinson. Brooksy would have pounced on it. Of course, he did win 16 consecutive Gold Gloves, but it's just it's a tough position, but again,
all positions are tough.
You make the position.
You're in the majors. Make the play.
Well,
I mean, that's the way it is.
Should have thought about that when they traded for him.
That's right.
I mean, that's the difference. You really have to know the guys you get. So again, if you want Mark Reynolds to hit 37 home runs, maybe he's your DH.
Yeah, that's true. But you got too many DHs to do that, obviously, with the Orioles at this point in time. Or people who are DHs. That is going to be swung on him. So Sabathia bearing down here and picks up the strikeout. That's 8 in the ball game, 2 in the inning.
Just throws it by him. This time doesn't have to get behind Robert Andino. Little change up, turns it over, and he's out in front. Back-to-back strikeouts. Yep.
109 pitches thrown by Sabathia in this ball game. He threw only 69 in the non-decision opener. Sabathia's got great arm. He can throw a lot of pitches, and he's doing it here. And Girardi's just trying to give him a chance to be a winner in this ball game.
He doesn't want to leave. He wants to get through this inning. He knows he has a very good offensive team. Put some pressure on Arrieta, maybe get a win.
And that's going to be taken down low. A 2-0 count. Reimold's going to try and work a little bit here after the strikeouts. Make him throw some more. 0 for 3 for Reimold in the ball game. Bottom of the 6th with the Orioles up by 1. And Sabathia, the chance to strike out the side. Reimold not going to let it happen. Granderson coming over, and makes the great running catch. Long way to go, but he got there in plenty of time. And the Orioles down 1-2-3 here in the 6th inning. A 1-run ball game.
By Jeter, 41 home runs last year. Number 1 for Curtis Granderson. 2-0 Yankees. Orioles will come back. Andino dumps a single in, tied up 2-2, and then Mark Reynolds, 3 base hits back in the 5th inning. Orioles take the lead after the Yankees had scored a single run, 4-3. So Granderson first home run of the year. Andino with a single, and then Mark Reynolds puts the Orioles, at least to this point, ahead with a 2-run double.
The Yankees trying to get a sweep, and the Orioles trying to prevent it as the homestand will close, and the Orioles have a chance to be 4-2 if they could pick up this victory on the homestand. Raul Ibanez drew a walk, scored in the 5th inning, and lined out his first time up. Arrieta gets the pitch into him for a strike. Arrieta looking for his 18th win in the majors. He's 17-14 coming into the ball game. Really late on that one.
Yeah, just the movement. The first pitch might have been an inch or so off the outside corner, and then he's come right back out there, and ball runs. Let's see again.
to center. Jones back. Warning track near the wall. Got it.
Well, they keep doing it, trying to speed up the bat with breaking balls, and he almost hits one over Jones's head.
Mid-Atlantic Sports Report. Tune in tomorrow, 5 to 7. Tom Davis, Mel Antonin, Phil Wood, Dave Johnson. All the news from the world of baseball. Live interviews, batting practice, look-ins, and more. That's tomorrow, 5 o'clock on Masson. Here's Russell Martin. Martin hit by a pitch, stranded in the 5th inning, and he has grounded out. Jake Arrieta getting the strike in. First pitch strikes, 11 out of 22 for him. Ground ball to second. Andino diving, can't get it. And Martin is on with a base hit. Just out of the reach of Andino. And the Yankees had their 5th hit. Orioles return to Camden Yards on Tuesday, April 24. Week-long homestand. Blue Jays A's. And the first T-shirt Thursday, April 26. First 10,000 fans 15 and over receive the Orioles Gold Glove T-shirt, celebrating the award-winning seasons of Nick Markakis and Matt Wieters. Get your tickets in advance. Orioles.com for info. Potential tying run on at first base, one away here in the 7th inning. Here's Gardner. He is singled and struck out.
Martin doesn't run a lot, 8 out of 10 last year. As catchers go, it's pretty good speed. It may not always translate into stolen bases, but first to third, second to home.
Reynolds plays in at third, as he always does when Gardner is up. Take that bunt away. On-speed breaking ball with good movements in there, first strike. Ayala up in the bullpen for the Orioles. Jake Arrieta, who worked the opener 7 innings, into the 7th inning here in his second start. Martin not going. The 0-1 delivery to Gardner's up high.
Man, CC Sabathia, it's been a little bit of a struggle, at least pitch count wise, command wise, and he's sitting on the bench saying, you know what, I know you don't hit a whole lot of home runs, but maybe you want to hit one here. And looks like Boone Logan's going to come in to pitch the bottom of the 7th.
Gardner with Jeter waiting on deck. And it's going to be inside. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Logan watching. He's ready. Martin made the fake go on that last pitch. Got to meet over there at first. 2-1 count on Gardner, who waits.
Yeah, he does not have much of a lead, and that's what you concern yourself, because he's getting a little bit bigger.
Arrieta, the 2-1 delivery to him, and a nice pick by Wieters. And a 3 ball, 1 strike count on Gardner. Well, Jake Arrieta flirting with some danger here. Well, only one away.
2-1 slider, kind of an unusual pitch. It works to count to 3-1, and now Gardner can sit on a fastball. Doesn't have to swing at anything but that. And they play him so shallow now. All of a sudden, he becomes a little bit more of a power type of hitter because he can look for his pitch.
3-1 delivery. Shortstop. Hardy. Got it. So Arrieta comes back on him, gets a big out, and holds Martin at first base with 2 down. And that will bring Buck Showalter out. Jeter waiting to come up. Move's going to be made. Arrieta will come out of the ball game with a 6 2/3 inning effort and a chance to be the winner. Ayala will come on to do the pitching, and Arrieta a good second start. the season 2-0. Jake Arrieta.
Yeah, really after the first two hitters, he was really good today. I mean, great fastball command, terrific curveballs. There's one to Teixeira. Again, a chance to win the game up to the bullpen, bringing Ayala to face Derek Jeter. Of course, they know each other. They were teammates last year. There were the numbers that Luis had. This is a career sidelined about 4 or 5 years ago by Tommy John surgery. Really throwing the ball well. I saw him in the spring, maybe struggle a little bit. It's gotten a lot sharper. I mean, the Orioles hope that is the case here tonight.
So Ayala comes on with a runner on at first base, 2 down, and Derek Jeter coming to the plate. Jeter has faced him only once, 0 for 1. The double in the first inning for Jeter, 1 for 3 in the game, and 7 for 15 in the series. Arrieta will watch that runner on at first base. Martin is his responsibility. 7th inning, and the Orioles up by 1. Ayala will miss inside with it for a ball. Ayala coming on for his 3rd appearance. He's worked a couple of innings. He's given up no runs and 1 hit, 2 strikeouts and no walks so far.
He had an inning last night with a hit and a strikeout. Actually, 2 strikeouts.
Russell Martin, the runner at first base. 1-0 delivered to Jeter, and that is in their first strike.
Yeah, for Jake Arrieta, bases loaded, and Jeter and Granderson and Cano coming up, and he only gave up the 1 run in the 5th. Derek hit the high chopper on a 2-strike pitch. That was masterful getting out of that jam.
One ball, 1 strike count. Martin leaning but not going, and Jeter will take the pitch inside for a ball. A 2-ball, 1 strike count. You know, we've seen Jeter here in this series get a home run, 25 leadoff homer. He's also at his 41st 4-hit ball game coming in this series, and has had a double and scored in this game with 7 hits in the series. Put some numbers up. 2-ball, 1 strike count. Well, just misses. Wanted the call, didn't get it.
Yeah, that's really, I mean, to me, that's the one place where maybe, and he doesn't get the call. I'm not saying he should, because the ball looked like it was inside, and you could see it running down and in is down and in, because he inside outs the ball so well, whether it's in or away. But the one ball down and in, the 2-seam fastball, probably gives him the most trouble of any pitch. Because 3-1, it's hard to get it there.
Martin, a long time over there at first with a 1-out single, and the 3-1 delivery. Jeter takes it, and it's a walk. So Ayala comes on, issues just the 2nd walk. Arrieta gave up only 1. 2 on, 2 down. Now Granderson, who had the big blow in the first inning with his first home run of the season.
And again, only having 1 lefty, and Troy Patton's had to pitch in the first 2 games. He's a left-hander. You don't have a left-handed specialist with Granderson coming up and then Cano behind him. So it's not only the long man issue in the bullpen, just a lot of right-handers. Now, it doesn't mean righties can't get lefties out.
Well, let's see what Ayala can do. Runners off first and second with 2 down, and that pitch has been a miss for a ball. Ayala last year, the lefties were 250 off him, right-handers 263. Gave up only 5 home runs, 3 to left-handers. 1-0 delivery, and he gets the strike. 1-1.
Yeah, he just changed his speeds. He's not overpowering. Now, when I first saw him with the Nationals after he came from Montreal, threw a lot harder, but that was pre-Tommy John surgery. I mean, he's going to change speeds and try to stay out of the middle of the plate, and it's about movement. Get the ball to run a little bit.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Fouled off. So Ayala comes back to get ahead of him. A ball and 2 strikes. Jeter will go back to first base. Martin back to second. Yankees left only 3 on base, and one of those in the 4th inning at first, and then 2 in scoring position in the inning Jim was talking about in the 5th. 1-2 on Granderson. And Ayala will step off. He wants the signs again. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Granderson gets the base hit into left field. Raimo, they're going to send him on. Here comes Martin. Here's the throw, not in time, and the game is tied. Granderson's 3rd RBI of the game.
Well, he takes a 1-2 pitch, and this is a guy that's already gone deep for a 2-run home run. He pulled it. Watch him cover the outside corner. And the ball just not enough on it that he can't get to it and hit it hard. And right here, Martin runs well. The ball dies. Did rain early in the game for about 10 minutes.
Well, the Yankees come back here in the 7th inning and tie it. And Arrieta will not be the winning pitcher. 4 runs, 5 hits, 6 2/3 innings with a walk and 5 strikeouts, and Jake Arrieta is non-decision. Now Jeter, the lead runner at second base, and Granderson on at first, and Robinson Cano 0 for 3 is up and fouls it off at the plate.
Boy, a terrific bat by Curtis Granderson. Takes a good pitch and turns it into an RBI single.
Has hurt the Orioles in this ball game. 3 of the 4 RBIs. That will be fouled back, no play, and a 2-strike count. Wieters is going to head out to the mound to talk with Ayala.
Yeah, where do you go? I mean, he's hit it in 23 of the last 24 games he's played here. You might have mentioned the number 368 coming into the game. Loves to hit in Camden Yards. Or loves to hit against Oriole pitching, or both.
Or both, yeah.
I mean, it is when you walk into this ballpark and you look at the power alleys, and it's like a pretty friendly place to hit.
Always up among the leading ballparks offensively each year. Here's the 0-2, and that's going to be popped up. Hardy. And that will retire the side, but the damage done. A run in, game tied, 7th inning stretch time. Brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey. Fly straight, drink responsibly. as we have completed 6.5. And again, here's another game. The Orioles are going to try and grind out against the Yankees.
Yeah, again, in the second consecutive game, you get a pretty good start from Jake Arrieta. I mean, really only had maybe a couple of bad pitches. So you get the lead, but can you hold the lead? And the answer is no. It is the Yankees. Now it's going to be the battle of the bullpen. But again, a lot of their better guys. Robertson's pitched in back-to-back games. We saw Phelps pitch a couple of innings last night. So we'll just see who can really get it out. And it's going to come down to who pitches a little bit better, or maybe who gets the clutch hit. Orioles couldn't do that last night.
Buck Showalter was asked before the game some indication that maybe Rivera and Robertson and Phelps were not going to be available, and he just smiled and said, I don't believe any of those rumors. We'll wait and see where they are in the game.
Well, they have an off day tomorrow.
Yeah.
It's as do the Orioles, and so I think they want to win. They need a win. They come to Baltimore expecting, not assuming, but expecting to win if they do the right things.
So here is Boone Logan, who will come out of the bullpen. CC Sabathia, of course, is also going to be non-decisioned in the ball game. So he's gone through 2 starts without a win, but has given the Yankees an opportunity to pick up the victory in this ball game. As he goes the 6 innings, charged with the 4 runs. He had a couple of walks, 8 strikeouts in the ball game, and gave up 8 hits over the 6 innings. Boone Logan on in relief. J.J. Hardy will lead it off for the Orioles. Hardy, Markakis, and Jones. Hardy's had 2 singles, a run scored, 2 for 3 in the game.
7 pitchers last night, and Boone Logan, he only came in, faced 1 batter, gave up a base hit. So well rested.
And starts Hardy out with a strike. Bottom half of the 7th inning. Logan's 0-1 delivery. It'll end up in the dirt. Hardy's gone 1 for 2 off Logan. Most of the Orioles only 2 or 3 at bats off the Yankee left-hander. Orioles coming into the ball game, touching up the lefties, 343. Right-handers 239 on this young season. Numbers that can obviously change in a hurry. 1-1 delivery towards second base. Cano. And Hardy's down, 1 away. For every Orioles walk this season, Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield will contribute $50 to the American Heart Association Heart Walk. To date, the Orioles have drawn 17 walks, a total of $850. Care First Blue Cross Blue Shield, encouraging each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and more active lifestyle. Bird needs to be a little angrier here in the late innings of the final game of this homestand, trying to avoid this sweep. Here's Markakis, 0 for 3 in the game and 0 for 11 in the series. He's not had a hit in his last 13 times to the plate. And the pitch to him is taken for a strike.
Well, what did Nick say? He had a great start against the Twins. He said he doesn't want to have different stances. Last year, you can see where his hands are. Last year, his hands would have been back a little bit, maybe in a little bit better load position. So if they don't work where they are, he's going to make some changes. Anderson did it. There's his hitting instructor, Jim Presley. He made a good point. He's been working with Brady Anderson because of the abdominal a lot more. Probably a little bit stronger, but you got to get comfortable. You got to be able to somehow get the bat loaded, get in the hitting position.
1-1. He got jammed on that one. Jeter surrounds it and gets it.
So you can see his hands don't really load a whole lot. Again, last year that's the way he started, and then eventually they would be back a little bit towards his left shoulder. So again, that's what this game is about, making adjustments.
So 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning on ground balls. Adam Jones has singled, flied out, and struck out. A 6-game hit streak for Adam, and he's 7 for 22 to begin the year.
Yeah, Boone Logan last year was in 64 games, and righties and lefties about hit the same. Not one of those left-handed specialists, both around 260. And as a matter of fact, did not give up any home runs to right-handed batters. The 4 he gave up were all lefties.
Jones late on that one, trying to get the lead right back on one swing of the bat.
Except he chased the ball out of the zone.
Adam had a majority of his home runs last year here at Camden Yards, as he picked up 19 of his 25 home runs here at home. The 0-1 delivery to Jones, and that is down low. 1 ball, 1 strike count. Both bullpens did a great job in the ball game last night. With Phelps, Robertson, Logan, Wade, Rapada, Rivera all coming on to pitch and giving up no runs. The Orioles bullpen, Lidstrom, Ayala, Johnston, Patton, Strobe all did a great job, even though the Yankees would pick one up in the 12th inning. 1 ball, 1 strike delivery. Jones will take that up high, 2-1. Day off tomorrow, and then the weekend games in Toronto. Yankees day off tomorrow and home for their home opener against the Angels. Boone Logan, the 2-1 delivery, and Jones will take it. Did he go around? No. Mike Everett. Jones gets ahead on the count, 3-1. 2 down and nobody on. Logan with that high set, 3-1 delivery. Jones in the air to right field. Swisher at the wall. He's got it. Well, the Orioles are retired in order. The Orioles now have had last 7 set down. Ball game remains tied at 4. Winning ticket codes at mdlottery.com/strikeitRich. And Denise, maybe more to come. You'll buy a lot of ice cream.
Oh, you would know.
If I only had the money I spent on ice cream, I'd be retired. But what fun would that have been?
Great night for ice cream tonight, because
it is.
It's not going to melt.
Every night's a great night for ice cream. You don't ever want to forget that. Here's A-Rod. Rodriguez 0 for 3 in the game, 0 for 12 in the series. Ayala stays out on the mound. A-Rod a .304 career average against the Orioles. His 214th game against the Orioles. Only Jeter on the Yankees has played more games against Baltimore than has A-Rod.
Yeah, with 57 home runs, would like to add another one.
Bono is inside. Ayala with a 2-0 count. We are in the 8th inning. And that one's going to be foul back. So, as was true last night, we are back into a battle of the bullpens. And both bullpens have been used extensively. So both managers hope they don't have to go too deep again, even with a day off. 2 on delivery. A-Rod to second. Andino diving. And probably should have been able to stop that one. Could not, though. It was right on the cut of the grass. That's going to be a base hit.
Yeah, again, the degree of difficulty for Robert, and normally he'll make this play, but is how sharply the ball's hit. And right there, it's almost like he looked like he leaned to his right. And he certainly thought he should have caught it. But again, the ball hit very sharply.
So A-Rod gets his first hit of this series. And Nunez will come on to do the running for A-Rod. Representing a potential go-ahead, maybe winning run at first base. Here's Teixeira, a single, 1 for 3. Orioles put the shift on. Teixeira takes it. It is in there for a strike.
Yep, and he starts him off with a changeup, trying to get him to roll over. Maybe hit one sharply enough to turn 2.
0-1 the count on Teixeira. He's got a 4-game hit streak with a base hit he's picked up tonight. Not a quick move over there, just a lob toss to get him back to the bag.
Well, he hit 39 home run, 24, hitting left-handed last year.
Orioles on a real shift as Reynolds is all the way over to shortstop. Nobody down that third baseline. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Teixeira lifts it. That's how you beat the shift. Going back for it, Marquez. He's got it on the warning track. Thought about throwing to first. Nunez had gone all the way down to second base.
Yeah, the home run swing, but got him on the end of the bat.
Time to text in your vote for the AT&T Player of the Game. Robert Andino, a couple of big RBIs in the game. Jake Arrieta, 6 2/3 good innings, non-decision. And Mark Reynolds, who has picked up a run and 2 RBIs with a double. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 31826. $10 Do you know where your children are? Here's Nick Swisher.
Eating ice cream.
As they should be. Swisher's 0 for 3 in the ball game.
Very quick move.
He lobbed one over the last time. This time goes after him. You ever heard of the Tahaka brothers? Baltimore ice cream?
No. You have.
You got to learn about them. They're locally grown, and so's the ice cream. Today it was maple walnut with bacon bits.
What?
Unbelievable.
And you ate that?
It was great. It was delicious. There goes the runner, and it's going to be fouled back by Swisher. Diving was Nunez on a head first into second base.
Okay, so while he goes back to first, what? Give me this flavor again.
Well, I love maple walnut ice cream.
Well, you're from Maine,
of course. Yeah. So they make a maple walnut just a touch, just a touch of bacon, just enough to give it a little salty zing to it. Oh, unbelievable! They have stores downtown around the area. They are local. A couple of local guys.
Did you move kind of in the same vicinity where one of their stores is?
How do you decide where to live other than that? That's the only question. Does this neighborhood have ice cream? Okay. If it doesn't, you don't live there.
Trap door to last year, just down, drop right into Baskin Robbins or whatever it was.
almost as good this year.
I always knew where to find you.
That's right.
Go for a little stroll. There's Gary. A little hammock in the corner. Triple scoop.
Here's the 0-1 delivery on the way. Swung on and missed. Nice pitch by Ayala.
Yeah, good changeup. No, you know, Nick, I mean, he's trying to get one out of here, and at least doesn't give him a pitch that he can drive. I mean, look at the late action. Looks like it's going to be in the middle of the plate. This is what change in speeds and movement does. He's just out in front. Well-intentioned swing by Nick Swisher.
Oh, 2 count. Nick Swisher's had an 0 for 3 in the ball game. Runner on at first base. Nunez, one away. Ball game tied at 4 here in the 8th. And that's going to be a little bit outside. Trying to get him to chase. A 1-ball, 2-strike count from Ayala. CC Sabathia, 4 runs, 8 hits over 6, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, non-decisioned in his first 2 starts. Arrieta with 4 runs, 5 hits, 6 2/3, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He'll take a non-decision after winning the opener.
Yeah, I mean, he is so geared to try to hit a ball into right field, and Nunez with good speed try to create that with only 1 out, that 1st and 3rd situation, if not do more. And of course, Ayala played with him, so he knows what his game is.
1 and 2.
And
he was leading.
Yeah. Well, we've seen it, and Matt Wieters talked about this, is that the ball, again, with a lot of cold weather, a lot of wind, there's that little lean and then the quick throw, but hard to grip. Again, you're trying to catch the ball and get it down there under 2 seconds, and it's harder to get the grip when the ball's slick. Well, the throws we've seen from Matt this year, kind of cutting and sailing more than usual.
Here's the 1-2. Runner not going. Wieters up just in case as Nunez faked it. And a 2-ball, 2-strike count on Swisher. Battle joined again, as it was last night in the 12-inning game. That was a 5-4 Yankee win. This ball game could be another 5-4 game, as we're in the 8th, tied at 4. Swisher 4 for 22 so far. He has got 5 walks. Runner goes inside. Wieters guns it over his back. It'll go into the outfield and over to third base on the throwing error by Wieters. Wieters had to go behind Swisher.
And then really throw from an unusual angle. In fact, Swisher's right in front of him, and you know, J.J. Hardy trying to catch the short hop, and it almost looks like that back foot slips a little bit. Very rarely see him do that. Yeah.
Swisher with a 3-ball, 2-strike count.
Yeah, that this count going from 0-2 to 3-2.
Only 1 down, potential go-ahead run on at third base. Stolen base on an error. 3-2 delivery to Swisher, and he'll foul it out.
No, that's why they like Nunez. He can play shortstop, he can play third, he can run. Great to have a utility guy with speed. Because he forces you to execute plays, and the Orioles just unable to do it. It all started with a sharp base hit by Alex Rodriguez that Andino got the glove on and couldn't hold. Just the little things.
Nunez, his first stolen base of the year. Darren O'Day in the bullpen. Infield in. 3-2 delivery again. And got him. Oh, and he doesn't like that one.
Well, he shouldn't. Welcome to the strike zone. About as big as Camden Yards through this series. That's just a backup slider that probably 3 inches off the outside corner. And the Orioles get lucky. I mean, look where the umpire allows Diaz. He's got to look all the way across the plate, and he's got no idea that that plate is about 3 inches from where that ball ended up.
They will give the intentional pass to the hero last night. Raul Ibanez picked up the RBI double in the 12th inning for the game-winning RBI. Not going to be given the chance to do it again here. Russell Martin is waiting on deck. There's ball 3. This will be the second walk surrendered by Ayala. And we'll put runners on at first and third. 2 down. Show off your Birdland pride and support the many programs aided by Orioles Reach, the new official Orioles Maryland license plate. The popular new cartoon bird played a great way to show your support and raise money for the Orioles Charitable Foundation. Visit Orioles.com/plates. Now Russell Martin. Martin with a single his last time up and scored in the 7th inning. He's been hit by a pitch and has grounded out. Ayala with runners on at first and third and 2 down. Martin has faced Ayala only once, 0 for 1.
We'll see if the fact that he caught him last year, there's a pitch that looks like a little bit more of a quality strike, so they certainly again know each other.
Ayala trying to work his way out. He came on in the 7th inning. Gave up a single to Granderson to tie the game up. Run was charged to Arrieta. First and third, 2 down. Martin waiting, the 0-1. 0-2. Nunez the runner for A-Rod. Ibanez at first. And the 0-2 delivery on the way and just missed. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Martin taking that one down low. Both of these teams coming in with bad numbers with runners in scoring position tonight. The Yankees have gone 3 for 8 and so have the Orioles. Much better than they had done in previous ball games, especially last night. 1-2. Runner goes at first. No throw. So Ibanez will get credit for a stolen base, putting 2 in scoring position now with a 2-2 count. Wondered whether or not they'd send in, Jim, or
well,
whether...
yeah, good managing because of the speed at third. I mean, if you're Matt Wieters, he's not making it up about having trouble field the ball again because of the wind and the cold. So, and then Ibanez, to his credit, got a great jump. You just don't assume he's going to be running there. And if you're Matt Wieters, you don't want to be throwing it away with speed at third.
2-2 delivery and struck him out. So the strategy works. The intentional walk to Ibanez, the strikeout of Martin, 2 left in scoring position.
ago, Tommy Hunter actually pitched pretty well. Didn't throw well. Shoulder was tight. Brandon Morrow, 11 wins last year, 11 losses. You can see his first start, so should be good. A lot of
Boone Logan out of the bullpen in the 7th inning, retired the side in order. Nunez will stay in the ball game at third base for A-Rod. And the Orioles here in the bottom of the 8th inning will try and get the lead. Wieters, Reynolds, and Paulino are due up. Wieters 2 for 3 in the game, couple of singles, runs scored. Andino's got 2 RBIs. Reynolds has 2 RBIs. Granderson's got 3 for the Yankees, and a 2 RBI homer and an RBI single in the ball game. And the Orioles need 1 here to go to the 9th with a lead.
And then let Jim Johnson, who's warming up, the closer, do his number.
There's the off-speed pitch.
Yeah, you go back to last night. So what? Mariano was up 4. Mariano Rivera was up 4 times last night before he came in the 12th.
Unheard of.
Really is.
Unheard of for him to be up throwing that often. Just one of the reasons why he may not be available in the ball game tonight. Certainly they don't want to use him. That'll be taken away. Rafael Soriano, who did not work, is available. For Wieters, 0 for 2 off Logan.
11 home runs off lefties. Incredible numbers against.
Up the middle, Cano's there, gloves it. Can he make the play? Oh my mercy!
So now we know why he plays up the middle. For those moments. That's why he won the Gold Glove a couple of years ago. Nobody, when we talk about second baseman, goes to his right better than Robinson Cano in today's baseball world. They said, and in fact, if you're a Boone Logan, because the first time I ever faced Mickey Mantle, he hit one through my legs, and I said, oh no, and then there was Louis Aparicio standing there to throw him out. I'm sure Boone Logan thought the same thing. That's a base hit into center field. Just an out.
He's been playing at second base against right-handed batters, right where he is right now, and right where he was against Wieters, which is almost behind the base. Reynolds, 2 RBI double, a couple of walks in the game. He's been an offensive factor. He has scored a run. Mark Reynolds will try and do it now against the left-hander Boone Logan. Reynolds 1 for 1 off Logan, a home run. Tried for another one right there. One ball, 1 strike count on Reynolds. Paulino due up next. Logan's pitch will be taken down low. 22,919 the attendance here tonight. 22,919. Well below the normal numbers when the Yankees are in town, but early in the year, cold weather, and early in the week games cut those numbers down for this series. Yankees taking the first 2, trying to get a sweep here, and the Orioles trying to get a 4-2 homestand. Outside with it.
Oh, there's a good take. It is so much more difficult to get hitters out when they swing at balls off the plate. I mean, when they chase, you don't have to throw strikes. Not that many guys want to pitch inside the strike zone. This makes it harder to do. When they chase, it makes it easier.
Logan with the 3-1 delivery to Reynolds and an off-speed breaking ball, and a good one.
Yep.
3-2.
And remember, he never didn't throw a home run last year against right-handed hitters. They're all the lefties. That was a great pitch there.
Logan with the 3-2. And Reynolds is gone. 2 down.
So it's about as good a breaking ball as you can throw. And he does it 3-1 to get back in the count. And the CC Sabathia shit right here. Slider underneath the bat. Back foot.
And that will bring Joe Girardi out with Paulino coming up. Rafael Soriano is ready in the bullpen and is rested. And a good job by Boone Logan. Logan came on and retired all 5 batters that he faced. 2 down, 8th inning. Paulino coming up. The MLB.com at-bat 12 app for your iPhone, iPad, Android, Windows Mobile, live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and more. Text at-bat 31826 and go to Orioles.com.
So Rafael Soriano comes on. Last year missed 63 games. A year before that in Tampa Bay, 45 saves, led the American League. Last year, elbow injury, and it did disable them from the middle of May all the way into August. And when he's right, oh, look, the batting average is 190, so he's got great stuff. Can make the ball arrive at home plate knee high.
Paulino, the designated hitter for the Orioles, with 2 down here in the 8th inning. A single. Back in the second, 1 for 3 in the ball game. He has faced Soriano 4 times, 0 for 4. That one's going to go to third. Nunez is up with it. And almost overthrowing. As Teixeira goes up to get it and puts the tag on. So a 1-2-3 inning. We've completed 8 here at Camden Yards. And as was true in the ball game last night, it's 4-4. brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by Dodge. See your authorized Dodge dealer and experience a world of performance, design, and fuel efficiency. Schedule a test drive or go to Dodge.com and check out the powerful lineup. Barry Thorne and Jim Palmer here at Camden Yards as we go to the 9th inning, and the Orioles' third pitcher, Kevin Gregg,
comes on, and his second appearance of the year. Last year, the closer for most of the year. Jim Johnson took his job later on. The 40 walks, along with the 58 hits, a lot of base runners. Well, he pitches the other night, says, I don't really care where, I'd like to close, but he understands how good Jim Johnson is, so he'll assume whatever role it is tonight. Tie ball game. Get him out, maybe get a win.
Brett Gardner, the number 9 hitter, who has singled 1 for 3 in the game. Jeter and then Granderson are due up, and Gardner will take the pitch up high for a ball. Gardner 1 for 7 off Kevin Gregg.
So I guess if he gets on, you have blazing speed, and that's what the Yankees would like. And great. I don't remember him throwing a curveball last year. Started Gardner off with it.
Gardner 6 for 16 on the year. Will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. 4 runs on 8 hits for the Orioles. 4 runs on 7 hits for the Yankees. The Yankees have left 7 and the Orioles have left 6 in the game. Starters charged with the runs. Arrieta and CC Sabathia both non-decision. And that is in there for a strike.
Another curveball. A different look.
That's Girardi's comment on the ball strike call, and he's getting an answer from Laz Diaz.
Well, that actually was a strike. The one to Swisher, of course, with a go-ahead run at third, but
that was pretty good. That looked like Diaz said, "You come out here and umpire." He kind of pointed at Girardi, and then
Joe may take him up on it.
Yeah,
especially when his hitters are hitting.
Up.
Yeah, right.
Here's the 1-2 delivered. Diaz faces straight ahead. 2 ball, 2 strike count. Brett Gardner outside. Always in hockey, Canadian announcers regarding officials in hockey are brutal. I mean, they just tear into referees in the NHL game after game, night after night, year after year, unmercifully. Not nearly as bad in baseball in the U.S. by players and managers. Foul back.
Well, I mean, is there reason to do that?
No, there's no more reason than there would be here.
Well, but if they call, they're still angry at the ball that he called 3 or 4 inches off the outside corner that didn't, allowed Swisher to go back to the dugout instead of the first base.
Yeah, but it's all
what this is about.
But in the hockey, it's the officials either do or do not make calls. This is all discretionary, like the strike zone is. And but I always smile because Canadian announcers, unlike U.S. announcers in the game, just no referee is ever any good. And they just it's rights and left and rights and lefts. Kevin Gregg with a 3 ball, 2 strike count. Do not want to have Gardner on, especially not via the walk. 3-2 pitch again on the way, and he got it.
This one looks like it might have even been a legitimate strike. Yep, edge of the ball.
So Gardner retired. Now Jeter at the top of the order. Doubled and scored in the first inning and had a walk, 1 for 3. 7 for 15 in this series against the Orioles.
Well, Kevin Gregg's philosophy is don't throw it in the middle of the plate. The outer perimeters, nibble, nibble, nibble.
Jeter will start with a foul ball strike, 3 for 13 off Gregg in his career.
And his velocity tonight is about 6 miles per hour, less than we normally see. That doesn't mean you can't get guys out, especially when you stay on the corner like he did to Gardner.
Jeter with a 1-strike count, and Greg will miss outside with that for a ball.
Yeah, there's a little bit more normal velocity for Kevin. He's a big guy, 6'6", up there in the 250 range.
We're in the top of the 9th inning. Ball game's tied at 4-4. Yankees trying to get somebody on to get it started. That will miss, and the count will go to 2 balls and 1 strike. Kevin Gregg has an 0-1 record, 6 out of 8 in saves against the Yankees. 23rd game in which he has appeared against the Yankees. 29 hits in 29 innings. 2 ball, 1 strike count. Jeter loops it. Markakis. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 2 away in the 9th inning. Curtis Granderson, a home run in the 1st, RBI single in the 7th. 2 for 4 tonight, 3 for 12 in the series. Gregg with 2 down, nobody on, and Granderson takes it away for a ball. Orioles put the full shift on. Reynolds stayed over closer to 3rd on the first pitch, now backs up. And it'll be down low for a ball. Granderson 2 for 12 off Gregg.
Yeah, he'd like to shift one into the seats like he did in the 1st. But we really saw the full spectrum of his ability. Home run, fastball out of the plate, fastball into left field for an RBI base hit. Went the other way. For Luis Ayala, it was a good pitch. A bad result because of his approach at the plate.
Gregg gets it in. Slow roll to first base. Bettamy will take it to the bag himself. And Gregg comes on and retires the side in order. The bottom of the 9th inning. Bettamy and Dino Reimold due up.
You get to leave. I get to go down and talk to them maybe, and
they can keep their jackets
you
off.
Get to have some ice cream.
Exactly.
That's all it takes.
It all sounds so easy, doesn't it?
Well, last night it was a little easier because you didn't need a home run.
Yes.
Maybe just a well-timed little bloop.
Soriano is on the mound, having come on to get Paulino in the 8th inning. Bettamy has struck out 3 times in his 3 at-bats. The designated hitter will take the pitch down low for a ball, and the count goes to 2-0. 4-4 ball game, 9th inning. Yankees trying to sweep. Orioles trying to have a 4-2 homestand. .2-0 delivery. Buttermeat will take it, and it's a strike. Alfonso Soriano. 2-1 delivery. And that's going to go to second base. Easy ground ball for Cano. And one down in the 9th. Updating you on the voting for the AT&T Player of the Game. Here's what it looks like so far. Still time to cast your vote, A, B, or C, to 31826. The results coming up on the O's Extra post-game show. Robert Andino, the 2 RBI double in the 2nd inning. He was robbed a fine catch by Gardner of a base hit in the 4th and struck out his last time up. Sabathia struck out 8, Logan 1. So it's been another game where we've seen a lot of strikeouts as 9 Orioles have gone down the K route and 8 Yankees. Soriano with the 0-1 count on Andino. Andino 1 for 3 off him, behind 0-2.
Yeah, you know, you talk to advanced scouts and they go, the Orioles, they make good pitches. They a lot of the guys, and you just saw Robert try to do it, just trying to air it out, maybe pull balls you shouldn't be pulling, not use the whole field.
Andino's gone.
So he swung it 3 balls out of the zone. Now to Rafael Soriano's credit, all of a sudden he got a little bit extra, and then right here, right up the ladder. Hitters tell you what you need to do. If they don't swing at balls, then you got to throw strikes. He never had to.
Well, Soriano, quick work of the first 2. Here is Nolan Reimold, 2 down, nobody on.
And this young man's got to get his head going so he gets an idea of what he wants to hit.
Almost got his head going.
Yeah.
Soriano up and in. A 1-0 count on Reimold. Reimold with an 0 for 4 in the ball game and an 0 for 4 against Soriano. 1-0 delivery. He wanted to ride one downtown.
Well, he hung a curveball, and those kind of pitches can get out of here in a hurry. Certainly a hittable pitch.
Soriano gets the count evened up. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Reimold down the line in right field. Not going to catch that one. Swisher over to get it. It'll roll into the corner. Swisher comes up with it cleanly and gets it in. A double for Reimold.
Yeah, fastball in the middle of the plate, just slices it into the corner. Talk about using the whole field. Can't defense that ball. That had Derek Jeter written all over it. That's what he does. And he easily scampers into second. So
the Orioles need 1 more hit.
There you go. Don't need the home run. Jim and Rick, they called it.
Orioles 3 for 8 tonight with runners in scoring position. Hardy, a couple of singles and a run scored, 2 for 4. He's had no success to date against Soriano, 0 for 8. The outfield moves in a few steps for a play at the plate. Hardy will take it down low for a ball. Cano will work to hold Reimold close at second.
A lot of breaking balls from Mr. Soriano.
Orioles out hitting the Yankees 9-7 in the game. Hardy waiting on it. That's going to be down low, 2-0.
You can see not glowing numbers there. Looking for a hit, due for a hit. Because that doesn't tell you the whole story. That's not this year's version. of either J.J. or Rafael Soriano.
Hardy waiting on it. Sweeping slider outside. J.J. Hardy trying to pick up his first hit with a runner in scoring position on the year. 0 for 7 for him.
Well, last year hit, what, 305. Had a terrific year.
Reimold getting that big secondary lead. Here's the 3-0 pitch taken, and he's on with a walk. So Nick Markakis coming up.
And here comes Larry Rothschild.
Markakis 1 for 2 off Soriano. Rothschild made a lot of appearances. 3 times he went out when Sabathia was pitching, and now he goes out to visit Soriano.
Well, you have a guy out of the bullpen. You just want to make sure that, okay, how are we going to pitch him? They'll move the defense from the dugout if they don't agree with it. But what's the plan here? Of course, the Orioles are hoping that Nick Markakis has a plan.
Soriano's got a 2-1 mark against the Orioles. 5 out of 7 in saves.
But
Nick Markakis, the one that matters at second base, is Reimold.
Well, the one thing that Nick Markakis that I've seen after pitching all those years, that he doesn't panic. I mean, he usually goes up there with a good idea. It doesn't mean he's going to get a hit. The other side of the equation is that you have very, very good speed at second. With 2 outs, he is going on movement. And we're going to
walk.
Yeah. Well,
Almost threw it away. They will load the bases for Adam Jones. 2 down.
well.
Jones is 0 for 6 off Soriano.
So you play the percentage baseball, and it'd be interesting to see where Nunez plays, because if he gives Adam the bunt, he may drop one down.
So bottom of the 9th inning, game tied at 4, 2 down.
And he's going well behind third base.
Winning run, potential winning run at third base. Adam Jones coming up. He is singled, scored a run, 1 for 4 in the game, 6-game hit streak for him now.
Now, if he drops a bunt down, if Nunez stays where he is, he'll stroll down to first.
And Nunez really is backing up even more. 2 away. Jones takes it outside for a ball.
Now, we talked about this last night. They had an option to walk Ibanez, load the bases up for Stroke. Now, Stroke's a lot younger than Soriano. And not pitched to Ibanez, pitched to Chris Stewart.
One more and the Orioles can win it. Adam Jones goes after one way up high.
Now, Rafael Soriano is so relaxed and just sneaky fast. The 91 probably looks a lot faster than that. Andino chasing balls out of the zone, and Adam takes one over his head. High.
Raimo to add the doubles on at third base. Here's the 1-1. Jones, another big cut, and it's 1-2.
Right down the middle. The invisible fastball.
Reimold, plenty of room to get off the bag at third. Here's the 1-2 delivery, and struck him out. Adam Jones goes down swinging. No runs, 1 hit, no errors. The Orioles leave the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning. The 10th coming up. Leaving the bases loaded. These two games so similar. The Orioles last night, 9th inning, loaded the bases. Hardy popped out with 2 down as the Orioles could not get it in and lost in the 12th inning. Kevin Gregg will stay out. Retired the side in order in the 9th. We go to the 10th. Cano, Nunez, and Teixeira will be due up. A-Rod out of the ballgame, of course, with the pinch runner Nunez. Robinson Cano will take the strike. He's had an 0 for 4 in the ballgame tonight. Yankees last year 4-12 in extra inning ball games. The Orioles were 8-8. Yankees won the first extra inning game either team has played this year, winning it last night.
Yeah, last year they started their season at home, and in the first 5 games they hit 13 home runs. Sherry hit home runs in all 3 of them.
Toward second, Andino over, backhands it. And let him get there? Yes, he did.
Well, not a dancing with the stars type of tag, but it'll work. And play all over. And then the quick throw from Robert Andino. Close enough. There you go.
Found the bag in the ball and gets the out. Here's Eduardo Nunez. Nunez up for the first time in the ball game. Couple of hits in 5 at bats. And Kevin Gregg's pitch to him is in there for a strike. So back-to-back extra inning ball games in this 3-game set against the Yankees for the Orioles. The 0-1 breaking ball, and that's going to be up high.
He ducked that one. Well, last night's winning pitcher.
Former Oriole Clay Rapata came on last night. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Showed bunt. Almost lost his wrists on that one. Nunez, 2-1 count. There was a ball.
Well, he's trying to bunt his way on and almost takes one in the midsection.
Count goes to 2-1. Nunez not bunting there. Diving just out of the reach of Hardy. So Nunez on with a single with 1 away in the 10th inning.
Well, he'll get the Jets going again. Already stole the base. Kind of insides it out. Nice controlled swing. J.J. Hardy almost catches his ball. Terrific effort.
Nunez getting his first stolen base in this game in the 8th inning. Here's Mark Teixeira. Teixeira single, 1 for 4. Orioles put the big shift on against him again.
Well, it did work on bunting, but this is not one of those times. Not in the tie ball game. If you're down by some runs, you'll probably see him do that. Ortiz has done it.
Teixeira, a lot of at bats against Kevin Gregg. 5 for 20, 2 home runs. Nunez walks off a pretty good lead over there at first base. There he goes. Leader's up, got him at first. Throw back. Got him!
Yeah, got a great jump, but apparently he didn't think so. And Matt Wieters heads up play because he knows. I mean, he'll come out right here. He sees him, and then the snap throw. Nice tag by Wilson Bettamy. Well, there you go. I mean, that's apparently didn't feel committed, and did he get him? Apparently so. Didn't look like it.
Nope. But he's out of there.
I think one of those throw beat him, and you're out.
He did have a great jump.
Yeah.
Put the brakes on.
Fooled me.
Teixeira 2-0. Goes after one. O'Pine couldn't hold up on it. 2-1 strike count. So 2 down, nobody on. 2-1 delivery. Teixeira down to first, foul. 2 games that have been real battles these last 2 nights, and this one not done. 2 managers who know they're going to see a lot of each other in the 18 games they play. Here's the 2-2 delivery on the way to him, and a full count to Teixeira. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 down. Teixeira will lift it the other way. A long run for Reimold, with that ball very high, and nobody's going to get it, and it's a fair ball. Hardy will pick it up. Right between Hardy and Reimold, and a double for Teixeira.
It's just well placed. You know when it's up. Everybody trying to get there, and you're going to see here comes Reimold. He kind of, I guess, slides through almost through the legs of J.J. Hardy. Excuse me, Reynolds. I thought it was
Reynolds. I'm sorry.
Yeah, with his shift. You know, with the shift, you think it's the shortstop.
Sorry about that. That was Mark Reynolds going down there. Hardy was on the other side of second base on the shift. So Reynolds was diving, and you saw both realizing the other was coming, trying to avoid the collision.
Well, we know. I don't have to tell Kevin Gregg. He's going to choose who he wants to pitch to. Either make his perfect pitches with first base open, inside corner, but he misses.
Well, the pickoff really mattered, getting Nunez out of there with Wieters getting him. Now with 2 down, Swisher has had an 0 for 4 in the ball game. Trying to get Teixeira home, and he'll lift that one foul, 1-1. Swisher 3 for 10 with a home run off Gregg. Rapato's been joined by Rivera. Each team with 9 hits, each team with 4 runs. We're in the 10th inning. 1-1 delivered to Swisher, will be inside. There is bullpen active with Darren O'Day up for the 2nd time. Ibanez waiting on deck for the Yankees. There are 2 down. Here's the 2-1 delivery. Swisher again flies it back.
I was wondering how. Look at those numbers. Pretty glowing. Wondering how he didn't quite get to that one. Kevin Gregg is a really, to me, it seems like he has a much better feel for pitching than he did at times last year. Making some good pitching. You can see he's not going to give in. Let's see where they're going to go to try to strike him out.
2-2 away, 3-2. Gregg, of course, having to adjust, going from the closer's role, where generally he'd work only 3 outs, being asked to go longer in the setup or long relief role.
Well, many years ago, he was actually a starter.
Got a ball out there at the 364 mark in left field. Here's the 3-2 delivery, and there it goes. Way back in right field. Goodbye home run. 2 RBI homer for Swisher. 6-4 Yankees.
Yeah, when you hit one like that at this moment, get around the bases pretty quickly. This is what Nick Swisher, or really any player, lives for. Well, you know, I had a pitching coach tell me, you know what the bad cutter is? It's a hanging slider, and that's what it is. Cut fastball in the middle of the plate, and Swisher just smokes it.
2 home runs, 6 RBIs, and all of them have come left-handed.
And that is the 18th home run he's hit here at Camden Yards in his career.
And a 6-4 lead as the Yankees get it off Gregg. Now Ibanez up, 2 down. Nunez will take the pitch up high. 3 hits in the inning. Nunez got that single, but he ended up being picked off by Matt Wieters at first base. Teixeira followed with that double that fell in down the left field line, and then Swisher the home run. Ibanez with a cut and a 2-ball 1-strike count.
And boy, they just seem to take advantage of whether it's the looping double by Teixeira, just a routine pop-up, the fact that Adam Jones couldn't get the hit. The longer you play him, more chance with their offensive capabilities to score runs.
Ibanez lifts it towards center. Jones over and will make the catch. But the Yankees pick up 2 runs on 3 hits in the top of the 10th and have a 6-4 lead. Tenth inning as he'll try and pick up another save. The Yankees leading it by 2.
Yeah, 604 lifetime saves. That's last season. Low ERA. You've got to earn your way on. Only 8 base on balls, 61 in the 3rd inning. They came in last night to get the save. So a blown save down in Tampa. Save last night, 604. Just a lot of movement last night. Able to come in and maintain that win for the Yankees in the 12th inning.
Mariano Rivera will have Eric Chavez come on to play at third base for Nunez. The Orioles will have Wieters, Reynolds, and Paulino due up in the bottom of the 10th inning. Mariano Rivera in picking up that save last night. 39th save that he's had in this ballpark. It is the 2nd highest total ever by a visiting player at an away ballpark. Only Trevor Hoffman, who had 39 at Dodger Stadium, equaled that mark. So if he picks up a save in this game, he will have more saves in an opponent's ballpark than anyone ever. It would be his 40th at Camden Yards. Wieters fouls it back. Wieters has a couple of singles, 2 for 4 in the ballgame. The Orioles will try and undo it. They have done that against Rivera before. Rivera's 71 out of 79 lifetime in saves against the Orioles. His 127th game against the O's. Wieters will take it inside for a ball, 1-1.
No, you need a base runner to get it going, and of course Mariano's going to make you put the ball in play.
2-1.
Tried to get that outside corner as he did last night.
This would be 2 devastating losses for the Orioles against the Yankees if they can't come back in this game. Here's the 2-1 fouled away, 2-2. Wieters 0 for 7 off Rivera.
Now you could see Las Diaz, of course, umpires take him off the mask. The minute Russell Martin takes that right in the middle of the mask, he's actually propping him up to see he's all right. Dead center.
No part of the glove. 2-2 delivery.
You know, it's movement. He's 604 saves on basically a cut fastball, but he's around the plate so much, he puts you in the swing mode.
Orioles have struck out 12 times in the ball game tonight. These last 2 games, strikeout wise, well, actually this whole series, they've really piled up some Ks. Here's Mike Reynolds. He'll foul that one off, and he'll go get a new bat. Reynolds with the 2 RBI double that came in the 5th inning. He walked and scored in the 2nd. One for 6 off Rivera. Six 10-0 for the Yankees, 4-9-1 for the Orioles. And that's going to be fouled away, and Rivera quickly gets up on the count 0-2. Yankees got the lead in the 1st inning when Granderson got the 2 RBI homer. The Orioles came back in the 2nd on Andino singled with 2 RBIs to tie it up. The Yankees added a run in the 5th inning. Orioles got a couple in the 5th. They get a 1-run lead, but the Yankees will come back to tie it in the 7th on a Granderson single, and then the 2 RBI homer in the 10th by Swisher to give them the 6-4 lead. Orioles have left the bases loaded twice in this game, in the 3rd and in the 9th.
Yep. Couple of opportunities.
2-2. And it goes full. So Reynolds stays off at 3-ball, 2-strike count. Reynolds has drawn 2 walks in the ball game.
Yeah, and Las Diaz is not going to give him anything off the plate to this point. I'd like to see that if you're the Orioles.
And the 3-2 to Reynolds. Fair ball. Running throw. Nice play by the veteran Chavez.
You know, what has he got? 6 gold gloves? Many injuries ago, back and shoulder, and last year broke a bone in his foot. Again, he circles it, better angle, and then the snap throw on the money. Big target over there, and Mark Teixeira.
Ronnie Polino with 2 down in the 10th. He's 1 for 4 in the ball game, and Rivera will miss with it down low. Both teams will be at 500 if the Yankees win this one. 1-1. Orioles will head on the road with the 3-game losing streak, having swept Minnesota and being swept by the Yankees. This sweep by the Yankees would be the first one here since 2009. Paulino and the foul tip into the mitt, 1-2.
Yeah, they'll go to Toronto where they were 3-6 last year. 6-12 against the Jays in 2011.
1-2 delivery. The Yankees started off the field. They'll go back. Timeout being asked for. There's a ball in the outfield in right field.
Well, you see a little bit of, in fact, probably a lot of why Mariano is Mariano. I mean, that ball certainly could have been strike 3, the game, and he just throw it back. You want it to be a strike, but doesn't change anything if it isn't. It doesn't let it bother him.
2-ball, 2-strike delivery.
One thing about Ronnie Polino, they have upgraded offensively the backup catcher position in my mind. This guy attacks the ball.
2-2 again. Polino to center field, and Granderson can't get to it, and the Orioles will get the potential tying run to the plate. So Polino's second hit of the ball game. The 2 down here in the 10th will give Wilson Betemit an opportunity to come up. Wilson Betemit only one chance against Rivera, 0 for 1. Betemit getting the start at first base. 3 strikeouts and a ground ball out.
He was a happy guy to see CC Sabathia leave after the 3 punch-outs. Kept throwing them sliders down and in.
Sabathia and Arrieta, the 2 starters, non-decisioned a long time ago. And the pitch is down low for a ball. So the Orioles battling here in the 10th inning, each team with 10 hits. One-0 delivery by Rivera. That's going to be popped up. Somebody want it? Shortstop Jeter, and that's the ball game. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on. Another extra inning ball game and another loss for the Orioles, as they will be swept by the Yankees to go 3-3 on the season. 6-4 the final. Join us again on Friday. The O's hit the road for the first time this season, and the first stop will be Toronto. Game 1 of the 3-game set against Toronto coming up. Our coverage begins 6:30 on Masson HD with O's Extra presented by Jeep, followed by our game coverage at 7. For Jim Palmer and all of our crew here at Camden Yards, I'm Gary Thor. Thanks, everybody. This has been a Masson presentation. Yankees 6, Orioles 4, Toronto. Here come the O's.